Right. Let's get this folks. Let's put some music. Folks, as you join us, do us a favor, share the video, invite others to be a part of tonight's conversation. We apologize that we are coming on a little late. We were trying to kind of negotiate with the studio back home as far as the technical issue, what's going on. But we are here. Others will be joining us shortly. That Peabody is hopefully on his way. Philip Catty is joining us from the UK. Welcome to the show, Philip. Thank you for being here. But guys, as you come on, do us a favor, just share the show, invite others to be a part of the conversation. Thompson B. Baz, currently following from Sydney, Australia. Wow. People from all around the world follow the closing argument. There's a reason why you will elect to be a part of the closing arguments family. And there's no question as to why that would be the case. Abraham Conan. Abraham, welcome to the show, Busman. Sophia Tapet. Sophia, welcome to the show. How you doing? Great to see all of you on here. Wule, welcome to the show. Wule. Doris Thompson, watching from Silver Spring, Maryland. Silver Spring, Maryland, one of my favorite places to visit. The people out there in Silver Spring, Maryland, you guys are just great people. The hospitality, at least that I have experienced out there, one that is unmatched, with exception of my brother Duke, who lived in the North Carolina area. When I went to his house, man, his wife made me this gari fufu. I would never forget that. I ate at least 3 bowls of that. I loved it. But Silver Spring, Maryland, you guys have been really great to me thus far. Sarah's Jordan McGee. Mr. McGee, Minneapolis, Minnesota's in the building. wherever you're joining us from, I'm telling you, Minnesota's in the building. Yeah. Elena Davis is, I'm watching from the ATL. Atlanta is the building. Y'all know, big things happen in Atlanta. Big things happen in Atlanta. Heidi Morgan. Hey, Lofa. Hey, Heidi, how are you doing? Hope I pronounced the name right. Humanity at Large, thank you for being here. Play the music, Lofa. We ain't playing no music no more. We're going to acknowledge and appreciate you guys for being here. Patience Sima. Patient, thank you for being here. Sita Chelsea P. Norris, all the way out of, you know where she's at. The Minnesota area. That's why I said Minnesota's in the building tonight. They come when Minnesota come, they don't come one, they don't come two, they come in flux. Big bunch. A whole lot of them come to be a part of the process. All right, Minnesota's in the building. Sita Chelsea P. Norris, welcome to the show, Miss Beautiful. Melvi Kite, thank you for being here. Melvi watching from Iowa. Oh, Iowa is in the building. Is it snowing out there yet? Melvi? It feels like it's probably snowing in Iowa because y'all never walk away from snow. Ambassador Gerard Truckan Tito, watching from Monroeville, GSA Road. Thank you for being a part of this conversation. Ambassador Gerard Truckan Tito, Bill St. Pay. We are here. Yes, we are indeed here. Zico Carpet, watching from Iowa. Iowa's in the building, making the presence felt. Ansu Sano, good evening. I'm watching from Minnesota as well. Minnesota's in the building. Minnesota's being in the building and they're being felt. I'm telling you, Minnesota's doing their thing. Otello Swat is watching from New Hope, PA. New Hope, PA is in the building. Henry Doe. Lofa Julius, thank you for coming on. You are very welcome. Thank you as well for being a part of the podcast. The rest of the guys are coming on shortly. They will be with us. We apologize for the late arrival. Musu Y. Cooper. Hey, Lofa, watching you from downtown under Australia, Queensland, Brisbane. Wow. People watching from all around the world, folks. Give me some time here. We will play the music. We will definitely get you guys acquainted. Breakable Power, DMV. Breakable Power is watching all the way from DMV. Michael Harris. I am following from Oro, Monroeville. You're following all the way from Oro. Yeah, when I came to Liberia, I was around the Oro area. I don't know where you were. You probably didn't see me, Michael. I was out there. Look, we play ball and everything on the Oro. How is it that you didn't see me? Or you didn't come out to play soccer with me? I'm so good. You were scared, huh? Thomas Beer is watching from Belgium. Akiziga is also
Hello?
following us. Akiziga is following us. He said,
Who?
"What's up, Julius?" He's not telling us where he's following us from.
Who's this?
Akiziga. Sekou Fofana.
Huh?
Sekou Fofana is actually following us from
Mm-hmm.
England. Thank you for being here. Nora Hoax, closing argument, she said. Daisy Davis, Houston, Texas. Houston is in the building tonight. Thanks for coming on, Julius. Ruth DeLon. Ruth, thank you as well for always supporting the closing argument in all the major media platforms. Joyce Wem, watch from the state of Attitude, Minnesota. Right. Y'all got attitude in that Minnesota over there. Y'all got attitude. Even when people send y'all a picture of food they like to eat, y'all got attitude about that. But we know y'all. Watching from Atlanta, New Jersey, from Atlantic City, New Jersey, is John Saki Conant. Nora Hoke said, closing argument, the best. Grateful Awuli, following from Philadelphia, PA. Sita Chesapeake Norris is watching from, she said, Raleigh, North Carolina. You are Andy Robert. Let's bring the rest of the phone, guys. We will get back. I'm pretty sure Dr. Peabody in the building as well, who would like to acknowledge a few of you on here. But it's a great day to be back on here on the closing argument. We apologize. Wednesday was a holiday in Liberia, so we did not come on today. We came on late because we were, engaging the fellows back home as far as studio, and there are some technical issues. But we are back here tonight. We are here to serve you and serve the people. Dr. Peabody is in the building. St. Tommy George is here with us. Lofa Julius. I said, let me turn it over to the man, Dr. Peabody, and we'll go
Hey,
from there.
brother. Hey, brother. Good to see you. It is good to be here on the Closing Acumen, man. We've been having a lot of little hiccup. The internet is pretty much in and out of Liberia. It's coming on and going off in Liberia. So we're still trying to see. We may not even be on the radio in Liberia, but we're trying to see and get in contact with the guys to
Hmm.
get the internet on. So that's what I've been working the phone. Timley has been trying to work it as well. But we wanted to
Hmm.
have, we just didn't want the day go by without having something today for our audience here as well in the U.S. We have decided that we'll have it in the U.S. today, and hopefully we'll come on Hot FM in Liberia. So we just ask you to stay tuned. Julia, thank you for recognizing the guys, folks who are tuning in to watch our show.
Hmm.
Somebody said internet is full restored now. Nope, they say it's not restored. The guys at Hot FM, Truth FM say it's not fully restored. I'm trying to get in contact with them. So, but we're hoping to have something today. Uh, 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 we're hoping to do something today. We, 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 we are looking forward to it on this program. So, Judah, take over. Let me continue communicating with God before we start. Okay, just take over. Let me.
Okay. Definitely. I mean, like what Dr. Peabody just said. Again, technical issues. These are some of the critical issues that we will deal with. As technology improves, it also brings in responsibilities, right? A lot of things that we have to take on as people. I know a lot of people are a little bit iffy about this whole AI thing, and a lot of people are being a little bit afraid about AI. AI is not here to take away your jobs. If you continue to enhance yourself, whether it is academically or just have yourself to be resourceful, that would be the best way to describe it. AI will not simply wipe you off, because remember, the programmers, those who programs those applications, are humans, and because of human error, there should always be people available to provide the needed support. Is they going to occupy certain job requirement that people feel like, hey, humans should not be doing this kind of job because our body cannot take it? Well, yeah, some of those things will be occupied. You have the robots doing certain things, but it was not intended to wipe you off the face of the earth. That's not how I look at it. Based on my background, I look at it from a very distance view as compared to what people would say, hey, this is what it's here for. But while we are in the process of enjoying, appreciating the advanced technology and other things that come with it, we also have responsibility. And that's part of the reason why we always say to, and that's why we always say to people who find themselves in the forefront of the entire governance process, do your part, do your part so that we are prepared. All right. So let's go back to at least welcoming a lot of you on here. Guys, you're not doing your part. Share the video. Share the video. Invite somebody. Tell somebody. Tell somebody else. We are being broadcast on at least 3 to 4 different platforms right now on Across Africa. We are coming live on Across Africa. We're also coming live on the Closing Argument actual page. Not forgetting the YouTube channel. So whatever you do just works to the best interest of Liberia. And a lot of things going on in Liberia that we will be talking about, but we cannot get into these things until you all can do due diligence. Play your part, we will play our part, and we will move the entire process forward. Share the video, invite other people to be part of today's conversation. Justin just in time, just in time. Say, hey guys, how are you doing? LinkedIn, Sida. Hope we can close the argument on internet connections in Liberia. I hope so too. I hope so too. Densham LLC. What's my local Pekin? Long time. What's up, boss man? Welton Petter. Where is PL4? Where is PL40? I don't know if there's anybody on here called PL40. Wilton Ketter is asking for PL40. Roosevelt Flomo watching from Minneapolis. Asata O. Dawson is watching from Maryland, USA. Sis Makula Musu Dennis. I'm watching from Buffalo, New York. Buffalo, New York. I went out there once, and that was from my aunt's barrier. Man, that place is cold, bro. Like, I don't know how you make it over there. That place is cold. But anyway, Star Steven is watching from Minnesota. Helena Wilson. Halo for closing argument. What happened to the internet system in Liberia yesterday? Y'all need to ask a hard question. Then Joseph Boakai do something. He does not want the satellite to pick up. Eddie Johnson government was on. George Weah government was on. What happened to Joseph Boakai's? He traveled and came back, the internet cut off. They sneak someone or something in our country. I don't know, but the internet being shut off, I don't know whether that brings darkness to the extent where you will not see certain things. Besides, with the intent to sneak somebody in the country, aren't there still mobile devices where you can record it? And then once the internet is turned back on, then you can upload it to various social media sites. We probably would have seen these things. So I don't think that is an excuse or that justifies anything, but we will not get into it. Abraham Corner said BL 490 man. Jeremiah Collette watching from Mississippi streets, Greenville, Sano County. Wow. Somebody's watching all the way from Mississippi streets, Greenville County, Velmont McIntosh Kla watching from Norway. Abraham Cunning said the PL 480 man. Breakable Power, PL 480 man. Yasa K. Good evening to my great people. Thank you for being here, Yasa. Robert KD, we are here. LIB is great. Thank you. Charles Archie Benito. I'm following from Busan, South Korea. Thanks to you guys for educating and informing us properly. You're definitely welcome. Thank you as well for sharing the show and being a part of the show. Helena Wilson, need to take it serious. Is it a what? Is it a testing us Liberian to see how you're going to respond? What is a testing? I don't know what that is, but I don't think it's a testing.
Okay, excuse me, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, bro.
I hear myself. Okay, I have Jassy Burfey on the line. She's the director of public affairs of LTA. She'll be telling us about the situation with the internet, what happened yesterday. So, Madam Burfey, you are live on the closing argument. Please tell Liberian people what happened yesterday and give an update on where we are right now, please.
Okay, good evening to you all. It's great to be a part of you. Happy JJ Roberts Day. Yes, on Wednesday, the internet went down 100% in Liberia. Both internet providers, Lone Star and Orange, lost total connectivity. And the cause of that has been attributed to infrastructural breakdown in Abidjan. So, in 2012, Liberia was connected to the ACE cable. ACE stands for Africa Coast to Europe. And that allowed us to have broadband connectivity. It comes from France. It's 17,000 kilometers all the way through France to the West African sub-region and all the way down to South Africa, connecting countries around the coast. And 2 inland countries, I think Mali and some other country. Anyway, what it does is something that we never had before. We never had broadband connectivity. It connected us to the outside world. And it meant a whole lot to us as it still does today. Unfortunately, we only have that one consortium, that one connection. And what we desperately need is a second internet source so that in the event that one goes down, we have a redundancy. Now, what happened on Wednesday, was it? Yes. The internet was interrupted from the Abidjan, and it didn't only affect us. It affected some neighboring countries along the way. Ghana went down, Guinea went down, Sierra Leone, of course, the Ivory Coast, Benin, and there are a couple more West African countries. And so we scrambled, to find out, what can we do? The country was down. So what it meant that if you had satellite, you probably had connectivity. But we have fiber optics, and it's a submarine underground cable that connects the whole, like I said, 17,000 kilometers from France all the way to South Africa. So what happened? So how do we recover?
Yes.
We have what we call internet service providers. I'm sorry about the noise in the background, but I'm in a hotel.
Okay.
The internet service providers, the name is PowerNet. I think they're an Indian group, and they were able to connect a few government installations. And they were the first to really step up and do something. They worked from Thursday morning early all the way through to Thursday night. And they connected the executive mansion. They connected the foreign ministry. I think even though the president was not in town, I think they connected the president's residence and I think a couple of hospitals, I'm not sure. But anyway, they were working on that. In the meantime, we have what's called the Cable Consortium of Liberia, and they are the governing body of the ACE cable in Liberia. It's housed up by on Main Street. The fellow's name is Kevin. What's his last name? Kevin. Anyway, he's been doing a good job there for a number of years. And what happens is that he manages and oversees the delegation of the ACE cable in Liberia. The government owns about 55% of it. Lone Star has a percentage, so does Orange, and I think there's a third stakeholder. And what happened is that CCL scrambled to get in touch with the parent body to see how we could reroute our connectivity through Dakar, Senegal. In other words, leaving out Abidjan, leaving out Ivory Coast. And that's what they scrambled to do. So we were given limited connectivity. And we shared it with, I think it's Sierra Leone, Liberia, and Guinea, those 3 countries. And so that's how Lone Star managed to get back on. Lone Star came back on last night. And then this morning, I think yesterday afternoon, there was a team of Orange Liberia left with some people from LTA to go to the Nimba Ivorian border to see if they could get a redundant, independent fiber optic connection from the Ivory Coast to service Liberia. So they went up and they were trying to do that. It didn't happen right away. I think they had a few challenges, but they came back on this afternoon in Liberia. So Orange is back up now. It's not as strong as it was, but I think they're trying to work on it. So they had an independent connectivity that was not from the ACE cable. All right, it's what they call a terrestrial connectivity coming along the land. So back in Monrovia, the CCL announced this afternoon that they had got connectivity for some major service providers. I think if you're ElectroShack, Liptelco, Lone Star, MTN, and there's a couple of others. So, right now in Liberia, we're almost, we're like back to normal. I don't know. Oh, yes, I tried mobile money this evening myself, and it worked.
Okay.
So, we're pretty, we're stable in that. But they did warn us that this connectivity that's routed through Dakar, Senegal, is still delicate. I mean, we have to be careful. It might come up or go down. They're trying to find out what happened in Abidjan, and all we know is that, sometimes they say, these are undersea cables, and there's a lot of things that can happen in, undersea. They say that, sometimes cables get caught by debris. There's earth slides, multiple undersea cable failures. So, Liberia, we only have ACE cable. So, when it goes down, the whole, nation goes down. But we're working on trying to get the World Bank to help us to get another, cable consortium so we can use in the event that something like this should happen again. Back in 2011, when we got with the ACE cable, it cost we had to pay we haven't paid it yet, but it was $25 million investment. And the World Bank came in with $5 million, which allowed us to get connected. So we don't want to really get into the habit of getting our connectivity from the Ivory Coast, because that means that, the revenue will not be coming into the country, it'll be flowing out. But this was an emergency situation. So Orange is back on air now. Back on the internet now. So hopefully they'll be able to get back on the CCL, the Cable Consortium Group, and then they can cut that, that external source off.
Okay,
that's where we are.
Okay, thank you. Let me just say this. We have on the line Ms. Jassy Burfey. Ms. Burfey is a veteran Liberian journalist, one of the best our country has ever produced, and she's a director of public affairs at the Liberian Telecommunications Authority. And she was telling us about what happened yesterday on Wednesday in Liberia and other West African countries. So, but Madam Burfey, while we got you on the phone, so what role did LTA play? And secondly, how soon will be back to full capacity?
Okay, LTA played the role of accompanying Orange Liberia out to the coast. We have spectrum engineers. We have to make sure, because you're not legitimately allowed to get cross-border connectivity. Their license forbids that. So we had to sit down with them, and in this one instance, we had to allow them to do so, because it was critical. At that time, Lone Star was up. We only had PowerNet up. And PowerNet, the internet service provider, they had two, what they call it, high latency links. High latency meaning that it's slow. It's slow to take up the internet, And so, it's like a last resort, but it's expensive too. So they did a good job. But back to your question, what did LTA do? LTA, I would say, guided the process because we had to make sure that CCL was on top of it. We needed to find out what was going on. And as regulators, our role is to make sure that both the government and the consumers and the investors get some return on their money. So when things like this happen, everybody is, not benefiting. The investors are not getting, the international lines are not going through. You can't transfer money. It could amount to hundreds and thousands of dollars of loss. So you don't want to be in a position where the people who come to Liberia to invest are subject to, that kind of danger. And consumers also, they want to keep in touch with their families and stuff. And it's just a total inconvenience, So we were very much a centerfold of trying to see how we could get this thing sorted out with the right players.
Okay. Lofa and Peabody, you guys have any question for Ms. Burfey?
Yeah, I got a couple quick questions here. Tamale, if she can hear me.
Yes, she hear me now.
Ms. Burfey, how long have you worked with the LTA?
I worked with the LTA 10 years now. I came on in November 2013, sir.
Okay. In that time, what SLA does the LTA currently have with your vendors? And in that regards, what is it that you expect going forward with what just happened?
What I didn't quite get the question. What do we have with our vendors?
Let me repeat the question. What is your SLA with your vendors? Do you have an SLA?
I'm not sure.
Okay,
I don't know what you mean by SLA. I'm sorry.
Your service level agreement. Do you have anything structured put in place to address issues such as what
do I have anything structured in what way, sir? Please.
Your service level agreement, where you mentioned your ISP, your internet service provider.
Yes, he asked you a question. Yeah, go ahead. Ask a question.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Go ahead.
Okay, so we are currently down in Liberia.
Hello? Yes, I'm here.
Yes, go ahead. Ask a question.
I can't.
Jassy,
I just heard you say something in Liberia.
Jassy, he asked you a question. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Julius.
Okay, so she had been employed for over 10 years with LTA. Simply put, I'm just asking, what is the service level agreement that she have with these vendors? There should be one.
You're breaking in.
He asked, he said, what is the service agreement with the
service level agreement, SLA?
We're trying to read.
I just heard you say what?
Yeah, he asked.
First of all, we don't have service. We have contracts and licenses. No, we don't have service level. We have and licensing people, okay? And we don't call them vendors, okay? I'm wondering, what do you mean? What do you want to see a copy of the license to see what our obligation?
No. Okay, all right. Let's leave that a little bit. If you don't have it, you don't have it. If you don't have it, you don't have it. You won't be aware of it. So, what are your contingency plans as far as backup, disaster recovery, considering you being the major government institution?
Okay, okay, that's good. Listen now, let me answer you. Let me answer that. I just said that in the beginning. I said that right now, Liberia only has the ACE cable, the Africa Coast to Europe cable. And as a result of that, we are vulnerable in the event that cable should go down. Okay? That cable supplies over 450 million people between France and South Africa. In Liberia, we have a population of 5 million. So when anything happens along the coast that interrupts our connectivity, we're subject to a lot for our, for our population. Are you guys hearing me?
Yeah, we hearing you.
We hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, loud and clear.
Okay.
Loud and clear.
Okay. So, yeah. So when you say we don't really have a backup, let me tell you straight out. That's what we're working on now. We're hoping to get a second.
So
consortium. And I'll tell you what we do have. There is a company called C-Squares, just their infrastructure build a $10 million grant from USAID, and they were able to build a fiber optic network from Monrovia all the way up to the Guinea-Ivorian border over there. And what they're waiting for now is for Orange and Lone Star to put live fiber optics through that and be able to supply the people in the rural counties with connectivity. So, things are in place to roll it out. Orange has its own network to some extent. So, there's the track is there for them the fiber optic network is there for them to employ. So, unfortunately, we only have the cable consortium, and so therefore that's what's tying our hands. But we're trying to get another backup provider in terms of somebody who can another ace cable, as to say, because there's other cables, other countries have to pull. We only have one, so that's the predicament we're in right now. And I think what has happened proves the urge for us to do that as soon as possible.
So, Madam Burfie, in conclusion here, I hate to kind of keep you here. After 10 years of serving at that,
I'm enjoying this.
Sheila, don't go after the woman 7-10 years. Let answer the question.
I'm not going after. The reason I'm asking this question is after 10 years, you must have a standard put in place and expected results, including provision of service to your people, because this is a government agency. We're saying after 10 years, we don't have any form of redundancy. We don't have any form of backup. We are relying on.
Tone down.
Okay.
Tone down. Listen. After 10 years, right? As Director of Public Affairs, I don't make policy or regulations. Okay, my role is to explain to the Liberian people, to the investors, and to the government what our regulations do to make life better for everybody. All right. LTA is a regulatory authority. We create regulations to help make the landscape better so that people have fair competition. And I think what you're asking me is why we don't have a second cable provider, and it's a valid question. And I think the answer to that is we have an investment already of $25 million for the Ace Cable, and there should be a way where we can perhaps have a backup so that we can help the people in the event that one goes down. So for you to say 10 years you've been at LTA, I don't know I don't determine policy or regulation. What I do is I make sure that I understand it and I can explain it to people. So I think your question should be posed at a high level who create policy, and because the policy determines our regulations. Okay,
that's a fair.
I really want you to know.
Okay, Peabody or Ben, you guys have any question from Ms. Burford before we let her go?
Jazzy, good to hear your voice again, Jazzy, and
yes, sir.
Thank you for letting us know what's going on. Let me ask you, this whole issue with the internet, off and on. What do you think? What will be the long term? What's the future for Liberia LTA restoring that connection back to Liberia, and that the people will not get affected again by what happened?
Yeah, well, we can't tell the future, but I think we can prepare and position ourselves so that, if we have a secondary source or redundant source, we'll be able to depend on it in the event that this happens. It's you know, it's high time that we do have a second source. And I think one is being pursued. And it's not just being pursued because of what happened these few days, but I think it's being in the pipeline for perhaps a year. I think it's called, it begins with A, Cabela or something. It's another cable consortium, and they're trying to see how we can get on board with that. And so it's not something that we're not thinking about, and it's something that we really want to happen. You know, we're all into this digital transformation. We want to have our kids have the literacy, and then learn the tools, and then be able to apply them, so that we move along, you know, with what's happening in the world. Not unheard of that, you know, things like this happen. Like I said, other countries, Ghana is completely out. Ivory Coast is down. The other countries, Benin, them, you know, they're challenged too. We are restored right now. You and I are having a conversation right now. That wouldn't be possible 2 days ago. So obviously work has been done. Okay?
Okay. Chairman Ben?
No, I'm okay. I don't want to derail the conversation because I'm not sure if my question had anything to do, because I don't want to ask a question that's already been asked. But let me just say to Jazzy, it's good to hear from you. The only thing, maybe if you have not addressed this, maybe I should put it this way: if you have, then it's okay for the benefit of the listeners. I will go back and listen. But I wanted to know. Look, yesterday the entire country shut down pretty much. We do live in an internet age. We do live in an age where everything by that switch, literally, right, brought everything to a standstill. My only concern is Liberia position, because I do know it affected the region, right? But I'm not worried about the region. I'm worried about Liberia on this with my question. Is there anything from a backup standpoint that we have in place that this cannot happen again? If it were to happen again, is there anything that we have in place that can remedy the situation? Even if for 1 or 2 hours, we can get right back on. If you answer that question, then it's okay. I will go back and listen.
Yes.
But I just thought to ask.
Yes. All right. No, listen, let me tell you, there's different ways of connectivity. You can have what we have in place here, which is the undersea cable submarine, fiber optics. But you can also have terrestrial, and you can also have satellite. People who had satellite in this nation were connected. PowerNet had 2 other links that they supplied select government agencies on Thursday. And last night, Lone Star came on through CCL. So no, there's no direct way sitting down for redundancy right now. And I think what I said earlier was that they are planning on getting another consortium in the country that will supply us in the case that one goes down, and there'll be another. And also I said that C Squared is something that we gave license to build infrastructural development, fiber optic lines. And they've done so, 350 kilometers all the way through to the Guinea-Ivorian border. So what's going to happen there is we can get connectivity from them in the event that the ACE cable goes down. So yes, indeed, once we can complete that and we can work out plans for connectivity on that end, it certainly will leave us to have a redundancy plan. So we're not, in the wilderness completely. It's just that we would like to have more than just our backup plan. We would like to have 2 vibrant working cable consortiums in Liberia.
So let me ask you a follow-up quickly, very quickly. How likely is this to happen again? How likely is this?
Sure.
Is this likely to happen again? What happened?
She can't determine that.
No. No, I don't don't mind you asking me. Look, the actual cause of this break has not really fully been determined. Okay, they say it's in Abidjan, and because it's in Abidjan, it's flowing from Abidjan along the coast to Liberia. So it happened. Did it happen like a year ago?
Yeah.
I think it
That's
happened
what I
within
said. I remember something
last
similar.
year.
It happened 2012 and it happened 2011.
You can't predict it. I can't predict it, you know. But the thing is that we have to ready ourselves. We have to ready ourselves. Yeah,
Okay.
you know. So we have to ready ourselves for it, and you know, it's not something that we want to, you know, really feel, you know, good about.
Sure.
Definitely not. And, you know, and I think when things happen like this is how we learn and adjust and prepare, you know?
Yeah, no, my question was not to fault you guys. My question was not to fault you guys. Let me thank you guys for.
Thank you so much. Go ahead.
Let me thank you guys for the hard work yesterday. I know you guys were busy yesterday trying to get things back online. Again, like I said, working in a challenge. We already have a challenge, you know, environment. I think so. It's good that you guys were able to bring it back online, even if it's not 100%. But we're looking forward to seeing you guys continue. Like you said, this is every tragedy or every setback it can be used as an opportunity to get better, and hopefully we'll keep watching and seeing. We know the team over there at LTA is very competent, so we will look forward to seeing you guys doing what you need to do, even though they're trying to move you because of politics. But it's okay. It's okay. I'm not getting you involved in politics, Jazzy. Sorry.
Well, Madam Burfield,
thank you, Jazzy. We appreciate it.
No, I'm not. I'm not in politics.
I know, Jazzy.
I don't work out. I was appointed. I worked in.
Yeah, Jazzy, thanks a lot. Thanks for the time, and we appreciate it.
Ellen, I put in here with government. I don't options are not often, you know, the additional. All right, God bless you guys.
Thank you.
First.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Look, guys, in the midst of what happened yesterday, next we're having a special show with IT expert. We're bringing about 4 of them here. We'll talk about what happened yesterday in Liberia and how we can prevent it, and what they can give the expert advice to our government about what we need to do to perhaps withstand what happened yesterday. Because somebody will tell me and say, look, Liberia is not safe. There can be a cyber attack on Liberia, and the whole system can be put into compromise. So you need to really do something like that nature. So we want to get the best Liberians who are involved with this. And Julius, help us with some of the guys, right? I know 2 persons told me about this, but we want some of the best IT people to come on the show next week, and let's talk about it so we can help Liberia.
That is a great idea. Great idea. And I think that some of these loopholes and what we would consider bottlenecks, all right, should be you know, just explored and disclosed to the public, so hopefully they can work their way up from there. I wasn't trying to put her in a I got you spot. What I was looking at is all through the entire incident. Once we were notified, I started to look at various spots as to what could and should have been done in the process. You will think, first and foremost, communication to the public. It should have been very robust. They did not have a robust communication set up, notifying the public on time. And that is very sensitive. We don't have, based on what I heard her just say, there isn't a set up service level agreement with all of these different providers, whether they are just the cable vendor, the providers, those that are connecting it. You have an agreement with these people. All right. We must consider the 5 nines. 99.99999% of the time, businesses should be up and running. And in an attempt that business goes down, someone is losing the job. In this case, I'm not blaming LTA for the problem, but they should have been upright, looking for the future. And that is what IT is about. That is what telecommunication, that is why you enhance your technology so that you're not sitting and waiting to be hit and then you react. You must always learn to be proactive. That is the reason why I mentioned the tenure at the position. But she was right to say, hey, I'm not the technical person here. I'm only the person to provide you the information that is provided to me. So what are they doing? What would they do, or what should they do? Those are questions that we should ask the technical staff and other people who are in the position to make those technical or critical decisions going forward. You cannot tell me after several years of satellite being in existence, we could have just say, okay, we will utilize satellite as our backup, and we will now try to push the idea of fiber optics. This is not the first time. In her defense, let me say this. This is not the first time this incident ever occurred, okay? This is in Louisiana, the hurricane. And that's why I responded to Ben when I said, she's not going to be able to answer the question as to whether it will happen again. This time around, it happened from under the ocean, as it is being speculated, until we can get detailed explanation as to what the problem was, what the solution, the applied solution was. We would not know that. But the reality here is this: what plan, what mechanisms are they putting in place so that their customers, us, we will not have to go through what we're going through today? And those are that's the reason why I'm asking these questions. But again, I think I may not have been too fair to her, because from a technical background, she was only the spokesperson for the institution. She probably just don't have that technical understanding. So I may have pushed a little too more than I should have.
Yeah, but I mean, again, this what happened affected several countries in the sub-region. So Liberia weren't the only country that was affected. But you raised some good points, though.
And that's the reason why.
I was talking to someone, and the guy said, look, normally our country is not, our whole internet stuff is not safe. He said it would take somebody to compromise, the whole thing and be compromised. Because yesterday, even the executive mansion, everywhere was shut down. And that it shouldn't be that way. So that's why next week we'll bring the real people to come and help us understand what happened and how they can alleviate, how they can help to stop it. We'll get them. So let's see. I know Wanty Clark just suggested her husband, Dr. Clark, is a professor. We'll definitely reach out to him too. Wanty, thank you so much. But guys, what your take on it before we move on, man?
Well, I think, look, man, Jassy did an excellent job, in her capacity as the PR, in really trying to break it down to us about what was going on and what the problem is and what the Liberian people were experiencing, So she did a great job. I think it just that Liberia is just one of those countries that is very vulnerable to anything, cyber attack or anything. Liberia is very vulnerable, and until we can put in place our own system, something that will be, because now we look to Ivory Coast. Once the internet down from Ivory Coast and other places, we are all affected by it. So it will be very important, that I think Liberia get an opportunity. As she said, that they have there's a company that have built a whole, I don't know how many million, $5 million tower or whatever that will go to the different villages and things in Liberia. I think they need to implement it, because even after the internet went down, Liberia was still not good in Liberia. I mean, you struggle to even get your message across, to even talk on the phone. It will keep going off until it just ends. So Liberia was still struggling. So hopefully I hope this could help speed up our system, and to make it more vulnerable for the Liberian people.
Chairman Ben, Kev Hassan, you guys want to weigh in on that issue before we move on?
Well, look, for me, like I said, we look forward to seeing what happens. Look, when it comes to Liberia and into information technology, I think there needs to be. I think it's hard time that we start to do some major investments in that area. Other nations are doing it. We're never going to find enough money to be able to solve all of the problems we have in the country. But I think when you invest in certain areas, those areas provide you an opportunity to solve other problems. So if you do have an effective ICT structure in place, when it comes to information technology, it gives you an opportunity to be able to deal with different things, right? Whether educational issues, whether healthcare issues. There's so many positives towards you investing in IT and providing an opportunity for our country to be able to leapfrog into the future. What happened yesterday, like I said, was unfortunate. It was not only immune to Liberia. Yes, I know we have a system where is the fiber optic. I remember before fiber optics, all we had in Liberia was the regular internet and the satellite. So what I'm shocked at is many people invested in satellite before the fiber optics came to Liberia. So I'm not sure why there have not been a little bit of both. But let's wait and see what happens. I think, like I said, I have confidence in the team over there at LTA. I think there's some strong professionals over there. They're headed by Edwina, who is very, very sharp. She knows what she's doing over there. That's one of the reasons why we've been harassing the executive to say, leave these people in place and let them do what they need to do to be able to begin the process. But one thing she said that I do agree with, every setback can be used as a stepping stone to be able to make things a little more better. My only caution and my only appeal to them is that we don't wait for it to happen again before we take the steps that is needed to be able to put the remedies in place. But we'll wait and see. We'll wish them well in what they're doing. Yeah.
Kev, you got anything to say on it?
Well, for me,
Professor Clark want to come on the show. He's very good at that.
I just said it. I just announced it.
Yeah, he said he would come to the next show, right?
Come on. Yeah.
No, not today. We said the next show. We're having a show. For what time
he's available to come now. Why should he come?
Let him come. Yeah, let him come.
But we're not talking about it. I was talking not major on it. We won't give a whole show for IT.
Okay.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah, the whole team.
That was the recommendation from Tommy.
We'll get a better
dedicated to ICT, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kev, go ahead.
Now let's move on to the second topic.
Well, okay.
Well, let me get.
Go ahead, Lufa.
On this note, let me just close on this part of it, right? Based on my perspective, and I see people asking me why you kept mentioning her tenure. When you sit in front of a CTO, okay, or CIO, they don't care what you're doing. They're asking you for a solution. Okay, they want solution. Your chief technology officer, they may be just as much more than a novice. They understand the environment to some extent. They just want results. So all of these things that I was asking, these are the things that drive results. You have your SLA plan. You have an understanding of the environment. What is the say? All of these technical aspects must be put in place. And like I said, hopefully I'm being clear. I wasn't trying to get that I got you moment, but hopefully once they listen to what is going on, they will say, you know what? There's a reason why these things are considered standards around the world. That is not just about Liberia. So we must put these different mechanisms in place to protect it. This is not about this government or the previous government, but we have always been very just hands off when it comes to these kind of things. We think all is politics. In Liberia, we don't even have a budget for IT. But anyway, I don't want to mention the name of a person who talking about I was attacking this lady. She will appreciate. That's why she told you she appreciated the conversation. It was not an attack on her. Thank you.
Chairman Sylvia, I want to come to you because I know you've been following the news today. I heard that the former ruling party CDC responded today, and also they appointed a new national chairman, somebody who I respect a lot. I know him very well. He was the immediate past Controller General of the Republic of Liberia, Janga Ko, yeah, and he's a new CDC chairman. But with all what been happening, the tenure officials, the asset recovery, and it appears that UP and the president, they are being acting as though they are the only rooster in the town. They've been making some remarks and threatening the former opposition, former ruling party. But today, CDC came out strongly and they gave a warning to President Bouakai and his government. Ben, can you help us on what happened today, please?
Sure. Listen, first of all, yes, let's in this public manner, congratulate my friend and brother Janga Kao as the acting national chairman of the Coalition for Democratic Change. I believe he's going to have the responsibility to take the party to national convention, where a chairperson will be elected and co-office of the executive committee. I believe one of the chairperson. I'm not sure the other folks, right? But Tomlin, I think, like you said, you were right. I think they came out very strong today. Some of the things that were discussed, I listened to the Secretary General, Jefferson Koji. I think they were very strong, making some of the strong points, highlighting some of the issues that's going on in the country. The only thing I would say, though, is, I'm looking forward to seeing what the strategy is going to be, because it has to be a holistic strategy. It has to be a strategy that is pointed and directed towards achieving a goal. And that goal is to make sure you hold the ruling establishment accountable. Because like you rightly said, the Unity Party government has been proceeding in a direction as though, as though they're in a monarchy, right? There's a king in place who, because even King Charles, he doesn't have executive powers. He's subjected to parliament. He has a prime minister, right? But apparently we have King Joe Boka in Liberia who thinks he's ruling by decree or by executive order, and you can just blatantly break the law. And, the Supreme Court will issue a prohibition. You will instruct your chief of staff to write a letter to LTA and tell them, and address the chairperson of LTA as outgoing chairperson because you decided you wanted to go ahead and appoint partisans to such a strategic entity, by the way. So I was very excited when I saw the CDC come out today. I think Janga is going to be great. He's going to do very well. He's not the prolific, bombastic type of guy, but I think he's exactly what CDC needs at this time in this rebranding phase. He's a task maker. He's somebody who's a go-getter. He puts in place key deliverables and he goes after them. And I think what my political instinct tells me that there's going to be a hand stretching moment here from the CDC to other people, other political institutions and other political players in the opposition. Some of us have already started to get the outreach. We're willing to work and figure out how we can collaborate. I've made it very clear publicly that we will align with the CDC moving forward in our political journey. But I think it is important that the government, democracy works in a way where there's checks and balances. And I think what the CDC did today, they were very strong. There may be people who don't appreciate it or don't agree with kind of like the language, but I think at the end of the day, it is what it is. So the only thing I will say, is that they should stay on course. Unity Party has been in power before. They understand how to use power. But the caveat to the Unity Party, though, is you don't want to tip off an opposition that becomes extremely antagonistic to you. Go and ask William Ruto in Kenya. Go and ask other leaders in African countries. When opposition put on the garment of saying, you know what, we want to be disruptive, you're not going to be able to carry out your agenda effectively. And I think that is where we are headed, because I'm listening to the Unity Party and I'm seeing some of the actions, I'm looking at it, and I think Joe Boakai, I think he's king of Liberia, and he has to be brought back to reality that he won an election with less than 17,000 votes, and that he's dividing that he's presiding over a divided country. But I thought the press conference was very powerful and strong today.
Yeah, before I go to Lofa, I would say Joe Baka is not Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. When Barnum Sirleaf was president, every time CDC threatened to say they were going to do a protest or something, she had a good rapport with President Weah.
Of course.
She would call President Weah and tell him, look, we need investment in the country. We cannot have people protesting and threatening the peace, whatever the case. And had a good rapport. But President Baka came to power with that sort of arrogance. He comes and the first thing you won with a 50.6% of the vote. What I thought he would have done as a leader who wanted to unify the country, he would have invited the two top opposition leader, because there are two people who don't endorse him, President Weah and Gonglo. So look, I want to talk to you guys. When the country is divided, I'll be you guys. This is what I plan to do, but let me get you guys involved. Let me ensure that you guys, I want constructive opposition. But they come and all of them, they go on social media, we're going to do this one. We're going to do that one. They're making threats as if, and let me say this before I go to Lofa. When President Sirleaf was president for 12 years, she had 18,000 foreign troops on Liberian soil. Joe Baka, you don't have that. You have only the national police and few people there. So, and mind you, you got citizens and other opposition people involved with the security apparatus in the army. So I don't know what you guys depend on when you guys come up with these threats. I heard yesterday when we met the asset recovery people, he said, we're not afraid, we'll do this one. And you take people that who are already against the Weah and the city people, you put on an asset recovery committee, and you expect them to say they will cooperate, they will be fair to CDC people. They won't be fair. So, and then they say we'll go after them. So the question is, I want to see if CDC people say they refuse to cooperate with you guys, what will be your next step? Y'all force them? Lofa, let me hear from you.
Yeah, and Lofa, I beg you, 30 seconds, just before Lofa coming, right? 30 seconds. I agree with the CDC. No one should cooperate with that asset recovery team. I don't believe they should. I think that asset recovery thing is a farce. I think it's a total waste of time. It's a joke on steroids. And I agree with the CDC. Not even the rat should cooperate with that. If the president is serious about asset recovery, let him fund the LACC. Let him use the instruments of state that is in place to go about doing the things that he needs to do the right way. But you can't set up some ad hoc thing loaded with partisans and people who you think got loud mouth and running around talking and not knowing what they need to talk, and then you expect the opposition to go and cooperate with that. I support the CDC 100,000%. They should not cooperate with it. If they're serious, let them go get warrants and issue arrest warrants for people in the name of asset recovery. Then we'll know they're serious. But this is a total joke. It's a total joke. Sorry, Lofa. I just want to bring that in.
Ben, at this point, I feel like I should just donate my 2 minutes to you so you can keep talking at this point. But just answer one question. Just answer one question for me. Do you still believe they should be given more time to settle in, or you have already realized, like many other, that this government did not come with any agenda? They are literally going based off of whatever happens, and we have no idea. We didn't even expect to win an election. Do you believe it? I give you my 2 minutes. Just answer
listen, I swear, I agree with you, Lofa. I put my hands in the air. I think the Unity Party, I think they forgot. They've forgotten what it is to be a ruling party and what it is to have an opposition. And I think they forget to understand, like Tommy said, the last time they were a ruling party, they had a totally different president, right? Ellen Johnson, I was national chairman of the Liberty Party. I had quarterly periodic briefings with the president of Liberia as chairman of Liberty Party. Not because we were supporting the government, was because, you know what? She was a leader who reached out. She spoke on issues. We didn't agree on everything, but she found common ground. But what President Baka is attempting to do, like I said, he thinks he's King Charles. He thinks he can sit in Buckingham Palace and determine, you know what, we're just going to go after everybody. We're going to start seizing people who, I heard the president said, I was watching the video, the president said, God sent him to do asset recovery. I mean, where is the separation of church and state? When you hear presidents start speaking in that direction, you know the country is headed in trouble. So I support the CDC position on this issue. I don't think anybody should cooperate with them. If they're serious, Let them go ahead and issue indictments and say somebody stole money, and let them go ahead and start to do things and if the president is serious, he would take asset recovery to his government also. The first 12 years of his government, he will start there. You know what he will also do, guys? He will commission an audit of his office when he was vice president, something that never happened in 12 years when he was vice president of Liberia. The president has to walk the walk and talk the walk if he wants to be taken serious. So far right now, it's all bluster and it's all hot air, I think, they're blowing, and they know it.
Peabody.
No, I didn't waste my 2 minutes. Take it back.
Look, man. I'm coming from a different view on this. I think President Bouacar won the election, and this was his policy. This was what he ran on and said that he wanted to do asset recovery, or one part of his plan on what to do. I think it is good for the country if he's doing it in the right direction. Go back a couple of years and then you do it. But I don't think anybody should disobey the government. I mean, Liberia is a country of law. If the president, we have a new government. If they set up a committee and say that you should report or the one, I think it is important that they abide by it. We should not be of disobeying the law. I don't think it's good for the country. It's not good. If anybody from the CDC is called by the government and say we need you, I think we should abide by it. We should not be disrespectful to our leaders. Liberia is a country of law. My only disappointment is that President Bouacar needs to go back a couple of years and audit folks from any time. But even at this time, at least we see that he is doing it. He decided to go. He said, look, I will do this and I will do that. What stopped the previous government from doing that? What stopped them from going back and doing such a thing and auditing people and trying to do that? They did not do it. So the fact here is, Liberia is a country of law, and we must abide by the law. I don't think just not showing off that you will not do it and will not abide by that. I think that's wrong. We should be very respectful of our law. Cities who are just in power and people obey them. You don't want the government to look like, you don't want to be seen as opposition, or you come in and saying, oh no, we're not going to obey, we're not going to do nothing. It's a country of law. But go there. If they invite you to ask you questions, go there. Even if you don't agree, go there. Liberia is a country of law. But I don't think we should start off. We're not going to cooperate. We're not going to do nothing. The law is going to hold. You cannot do that. That's still the law. We will respect every government that comes to power.
Can I respond to Peabody quickly?
Yeah, go ahead.
Peabody, let me say something, and I don't disagree with you. The issue here is not that we don't support asset recovery. That's not the issue. I think you're mixing apples and oranges here. When you say we should obey the law, the president is not the law. The law is the law. There is an organic law in the land. You know what is the law? The LSCC is enacted into law. That is the law. The president waking up in the morning and saying he's setting up an asset recovery team that is crowded and loaded with political actors, that's not the law. The president doesn't, we don't have like I said, Peabody, we don't have a monarchy in Liberia. We have a democracy. A democracy is also where if I feel like my right is being violated, I have a right to stand up for it. And so when you say that people should not disrespect the country or disrespect the law, I agree with you 100%. But I'm also saying the president should not disobey or disrespect the law. Because guess what?
Then everybody goes to the court, then.
Yeah, so we're not. So when you were talking and listen, Peabody, what I'm trying to say, Peabody, is this. Let the president follow the law. Simple. He has an LSCC that was indicted under his that was enacted into law under his government when he was vice president.
And what did the previous government do about it? Nothing.
What's that?
You say an LSCC that indicted Bouacar under his.
No. Maybe you misunderstood what I said.
What did the previous government do about it?
Maybe you see, Peabody. Let me say this to you. Peabody, let me say this to you. We are not focusing on the previous government. The reason the previous government is not in power is because the previous government did not do what they were supposed to do. Correct? We are focusing on what President Joe Boyka is doing today. What President Joe Boyka is doing today is he has set up an asset recovery team that is loaded and crowded with political actors. When you have a strengthening and a more, listen, the former chairperson of the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission, Councillor James Verdier, who was appointed by former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, when they were doing the new LSCC, he came out and he said, I wish I had this LSCC when I was chairman of the LSCC. The new LSCC, Peabody, has prosecutorial powers. Do you know what I wanted to hear the president say? I wanted to hear the president say, I'm submitting a bill to the national legislature for a corruption court. I wanted to hear the president say that I'm empowering the LSCC to go back and do an audit of to figure out how people got properties. The law is there, Peabody. Setting up an asset recovery team to find jobs for your political supporters is not the law, Peabody. So I agree with you. This is not a campaign. This is not a campaign against.
Ben, that's your view. That's your view, Ben.
No, but that's what I'm saying. I'm giving you.
Let me respond. Let me respond.
No, but you gave yours, and I can respond to that. That's all.
No, that's his view. That's your view. But what I'm saying here is, we must obey the law. But we're not on opposite page here or that. I agree. When you are saying that you will not abide by anything, you will not cooperate.
No. Point of correction. Point of correction, everybody.
Ben, can I tell you
point of correction, not abide. You know, words are very particular. We have to be very careful how we use them. I said the CDC said they will not cooperate. Cooperating means that you will disobey the law, right? The law is clear. There is a government entity in place already. There's a government entity. Almost like, let me give you an example, Peabody. It's almost like the president saying, tomorrow morning, I'm setting up a militia force to go out there and start arresting criminals and overlooking the Liberian National Police, or overlooking the statutory functionary or a functionary of the government. All I'm saying, Peabody, is this. If the president is serious about this, which I want to believe he is, because he said God sent him to do this. So anything God sent somebody to do, I know they're serious about it, right? All I'm saying to Mr. President, I'm taking my page from what Cental, one of the most respectable civil service and anti-corruption organizations in that country, calling for the dissolution of the asset recovery team because it flouts the law, it totally disregards the system that is in place. How are we going to build our system if we don't support those systems? How are we going to build our system if we continue to create more bureaucracies over bureaucracies, and because we want to give political cronies jobs? That's the only thing. I'm not saying this.
Let me provide some information. Okay, there's a USAID-funded organization, Cental, the Center for Transparency in Liberia. You hear what they are saying? They say, while we welcome President Boyka's determination to follow through on earlier statements regarding tackling corruption, we believe that a task force is not the appropriate channel for the achievement of anti-corruption objectives due to the following reason. The task force essentially assumes the role of the Liberian Anti-Corruption Commission, thereby making it a parallel LCC, and the task force is not independent as it is situated in the presidency and includes support of Boyka 2023 presidential campaign.
And then you expect the
CDC, right? So Ben, let me say this, right?
If CDC feel that the president broke the law, then you need to take the president to court.
Peabody, point out. You can't take the president to court. The president is immune from prosecution.
Exactly.
You can't take him to court.
Then you take whoever invite you. You can go just like other group, go to the court and say that the violated the law. And they can protect you.
Let me so back to Peabody.
What I think Liberia do need some kind of assets recovery.
But we don't disagree with that.
My only disagreement is the president did not go far back in terms of that. He needs to go far back.
But I think
Liberia do need that.
The president has
to. It should not be selective.
He put his committee on supervision of his deputy minister of state, Sam Steve Kuya. The commissioner is working in under his office.
How do you set up an asset recovery?
Like Santal said,
So let me ask a
his
question here,
campaign
right?
team and put it on his committee and he said, go after your political opponents. Come on, guys, let's be honest. Look,
So here's my
as a retrieval, 100%, but do it the right way. We have an institution that's
do it the right way. I agree. I agree with
with
that.
the law that's LSCC job. Well, you want to get jobs to people
We gotta strengthen LSCC.
I agree. Let him follow the law and let him go far back. Let him go far back. Now, it shouldn't be
We got a strong LSCC that is taking
Dr. Peabody.
money.
Yeah.
So Dr. Peabody, right? I know I've been trying to really jump in this asset recovery thing because that's something I've been talking about for the longest. Do you in your right mind think that the process right now, what the president is doing, he's actually abiding by the law based on what he just did? Grab a bunch of individuals who supported him and thought to reward them with jobs instead of creating an independent body to pursue these things. He actually went out to satisfy the desire of those who campaign for him. Do you think he's actually abiding by the law?
I don't know about that. I don't know whether that was the intention of the president. I'm only speaking from my point of view here. That the fact
no.
Listen, to me. You ask me a question. Give me a chance. Let me talk.
All right, go ahead.
The fact here is, as I said, I believe in asset recovery. It will be across the board. Don't be selective on who you are going to go after and try to do that. But I think asset recovery is very important, and he should not be selective.
There's no disagreement with that.
There's no doubt. All of us,
Yes,
here,
use the right channel.
if you were to do a little survey, if you were to do a poll, even other of our audience members on here will agree that asset recovery is a vital part of our growth. That will serve as a deterrent. But here's the reality, though. You cannot use this tool as a witch hunt because the way it is being presented, seditionists will say it's a witch hunt. Those who are part of this team, they made it clear that, look, we are coming after you. It should not be about coming after you.
I'm not saying that.
Peabody, let me give you an example. Peabody, let me give you an example. Can you imagine, Peabody, can you imagine, Peabody, let me give you an example. Can you imagine you get a traffic ticket, right? Before you go to court for your traffic ticket to challenge your traffic ticket, you see the judge in the hallway of the court. And the first thing he sees, by the time he say, you Peabody, the way I've been setting for you, then now you coming to stand in front of me, in front of my court. Will you have a problem going to stand in front of that judge? Will you not immediately stand up for your right and say that this man is supposed to be supposed to give me the opportunity to hear my side? Look, Peabody, nobody is against asset recovery. Nobody is against audit. Anything they want to do, nobody against it. What we are saying is this is not an opportunity for you to come and create. Look, I mean, are you kidding me? Look, we got an LSCC Peabody that is in the national budget. You know what the president said in his state in the executive order? He said he mandating the Minister of Finance to fund this asset recovery body that he set up. Bureaucracy over bureaucracy. How do we build our systems? We have an effective LSCC, empower the LSCC. The LSCC just indicted 12 people from the last government. I was reading something on the news in the healthcare sector. This LSCC just did. Go to the LSCC, tell the LSCC, say, listen, set up a mechanism within the LSCC and do asset recovery. You're the president, you can do that. But the president is not law. He can't just get up tomorrow and say, you know what? Like he getting up tomorrow and say, you know what? My minister of state, go print money. Go print some more money and don't call the central bank. That's what the president is trying to do here. That's all he's trying to do. The central bank is supposed to print money. Nobody else is supposed to print money. LSCC, this is the function. That's what Central is saying, and that's what we stand by. And again, I reiterate what I said. I support and I stand by the CDC's position not to cooperate with this quasi thing that was set up, and it should be dissolved. The president is not a king. He was elected by the people. He's accountable to the people. And the national legislature should step in here, by the way, and bring some check and balance into this thing. That's what we are saying.
But also too low. The president, I understand President Bouaka. He set up a committee. He said, the protest for the army wives. He said 2 weeks. 2 weeks have elapsed. It's a joke. I mean, so you say things, you're giving deadline, nothing happening. Then you also said they should do something again for another 2 weeks again. It's another one again. No, the prominent Inkin Jaw. He appointed a committee. He said 2 weeks. 2 weeks have elapsed. Nothing we have from the president.
And where is the report? Where is the report from the Ivory Coast visit? What was benefited from Ivory Coast? What did we gain from Ivory Coast?
I think they need to come up and tell the Liberian people what was the visit, what did it benefit, and stuff like that. That's something that they need to take care of. But the issue of corruption in our country, it's very bad. And
I agree with you.
Some kind of way it needs to be fought.
We should put it to a hub. I support it.
You know, you cannot violate the law, but some kind of way we need a government that will come up and bring some kind of audit to the people. We need the TRC to get back in force. We need them to sign our war and economic crime court. They need to do it so it can work. We need all of that. What I'm saying here is,
the president said TRC, he talked about war economic crimes code. Then what happened? He started to go snow walk with it. Then the House passed it quickly, sent to the Senate. He got a few of his cronies in the Senate there. Try to play with it, play politics with it, and put it in committee room.
Don't be dealt with. I mean,
right now, some of them will get visa restriction when they go to the embassy for visa. They will give them, they will deny them. They will cancel their census. Try to play games with the Liberian people. Pretty much threatening them to. They get afraid. And the next thing he jump out again, as a recovery, he jump out again. Other things. I mean, it's good, but President Boga, take your time and do it, because right now, I don't understand the president told us more than 60 days. What have they accomplished? What have they achieved so far?
And use the
first.
Yes, and use the
and
right.
Fighting people for access to
we don't have the national budget yet. The budget is still at the Ministry of Finance. What happening?
No.
They already submitted that budget.
They submitted the budget today.
Right? Okay.
692 million. The key things I'm looking for in that budget. I'm looking for the increment of civil servant salary. I'm looking for the abolishing of harmonization. President Boga campaigned also on that. He told people that he was going to do away with harmonization. I'm praying and hoping, and I'm calling on civil servants. Hold your government accountable. If you don't see a raise in your paycheck, hold your government accountable. You have a right to protest. You have a right to stand up to your government if they come and they lie to you. We're waiting to see the investment in education. Have the investment in education gone up? It has the Ministry of State for Presidential Affairs budget come down. I want to see the president budget come down. I want to see the vice president budget come down. These are the things they campaign on.
What about LU students? Did the scholarship for the student at the University of Liberia?
Like I said, we're going to be looking forward to seeing all of these things. Harmonization. Again, civil servants, if you are under my voice, be looking for raise in your paychecks. $692 million in the national budget. $692 million. Your paycheck should go up, because Unity Party campaign that harmonization was wrong, that your salaries were harmonized by George Weah, and so guess what? You voted for him. What was the slogan during the election, Tommy Lee? You harmonize our pay, you harmonize with your vote, right? So we're looking forward to seeing their salaries increase. Immediate increment. Police officers, military officials, teachers, immediate increment. And I'm calling on all of these public servants. If you don't see an immediate increment, it is ground for you to protest against your government. It is hard time that politicians start to live up to their responsibility and to the things that they say they're going to do. They can be playing politics with the thing. This president, this president campaigned strong. He campaigned strong. He campaigned to rescue Liberia. We support him now. I support the president in rescuing Liberia. He needs to increase civil servant pay. We don't want to hear any excuse. We don't want to hear say, oh, they will go find the money. They knew what they were inheriting. They need to go ahead and take the bull by the horn.
Yeah, Kev coming. Yesterday, President Boga also said that, Kev, maybe you can factor in when you're responding. He said, I said he took over, he has not received a dime yet. You believe that's Kev?
A dime as what?
He received money from the government saying he took over. He said yesterday.
A dime for what? His salary or
I know he said he took over I've not received no money from the government yet.
So he didn't get partner to go to Arago?
I
I
don't
ain't got
know.
money.
But no. Let me ask the president a simple question.
Who paid
Who
his
buying
trip
his
to
fuel to
Arago?
his house?
Right.
Who buying his fuel to his house?
Who paid
Who
for the
buying his fuel for the cars that he riding?
officers?
Who paying the security?
Who paying the security?
Is this president, who's advising this president to speak the way he's speaking?
No, Ben, nobody advising the president. The president is purposely lying to the people. I'm sorry to say that we're not supposed to tell older folks you're lying. So I will refine the statement, telling stories to Liberians. That is exactly what this man is doing. How can you be benefiting from the state and then you sit here talking about you are yet to get a dime? Oh, I think he's talking about physical cash. I forgot. He's from the
Kev, lay it for you, Kev.
40s. Go ahead, Kev.
Well, I don't think the president. I would not call it lying. I don't think he's lying. I think the president just feel like you guys are stupid. That's what he feels.
Us?
Of course. I don't think he feel like lying. He feel like you guys are stupid.
Not cost me, I beg you.
Yeah, because the reason I say so, the president told us in 100 days, the Southeast will get quota, and nothing there, no cow stock, nothing there. He told you I'll put TV in all the country, nothing. All he promises, nothing. That money business, he will come and say, I get money. That's something you're scared to say. You see, in life, when somebody lied to you and you believe it, they will keep coming again. They will keep coming again. They're like some of us who watch an American football and basketball. When they give you that 3 points on basketball, that hot hand, they will continue to go that area because in basketball they call it a hot hand. You know, the same thing with football. So JMB realized that he hot right now. So anything he tell you, you will believe it. So that's the reason he's saying that. So to him, he's not lying. He just feels that the people stupid. That's why he keeps saying it. When he took the 380 something thousand to give to Luther, Reverend Luther, to give to all the district them that Luther ate. Where he took that money from? Where he took that money from that he gave these people 50 million Liberian dollar, and I think with 100 or how many bag of rice in Bon Country. Okay, basically he's saying to y'all that the money I'm getting is the money that they bribed me with to give position, the selling position. That's the money I'm spending. So you see, sometimes not what the person is saying, what they are not saying. That's what you should listen to. So what the Papa is saying, every money I'm spending, somebody who say I only get $800 in pension, I'm living on loan, but he's spending hundreds of $1,000s right now. So he say I ain't get 1 cent from the government. Okay, where you getting the money from? You're selling position, and yeah, Ben Savvy, you know that. Dominic George, you know that. Peabody, you know that. I'm not sure if that information reached Lofa, but we four know individual that they ask for money. That because of we cannot call our individual name, but we know that. And the person was like, whoa. So they're selling position. That's how he gets his money. So I don't think what if I go back to the asset recovery. You know.
Can I just ask a question for clarity? You said someone who was appointed was asked for money to.
What I'm saying is they ask somebody for money and the person say, you know, I'm not putting my hand in because the money they ask for. The person say, you know what, I'm not of that culture. So the person was like, no. So, but what I'm saying here is the asset recovery issue. JMB love to talk, let him talk. But I can assure our people, I can say that to our people. If the Unity Party government called itself man, let them go after CDC, and they will see what will happen. If they call themselves man, who's saying it? So everything he's saying it on his own. If they call themselves man, everybody who own that asset recovery, Emmanuel Gongwa who passing around saying EFF, where wearing a beret doing a craziness, let him try it. Let them try it. What Koji said today, it was just a warm up, because we're just talking about our chairman, our new chairman. It was just a warm up. But more coming in the coming days. Let the internet in Liberia get stable, and you will see what will happen. You will hear. The Unity Party forget the CDC. When 17,000 troops were in Liberia, we stand up against the Unity Party. With all the bullets that they went at our headquarters and killed sedition, we stand up on it. We stood at that and at that headquarters. Let them try it. They forget to know that 50%, almost 50% of the country did not vote for them. You're talking about an asset recovery. Now the new thing, they say a lifestyle audit. So they match your pay versus how you living. Go to Amara Connor, where he took that money from. You JMB, your farm, and the houses you got in Bomi, where you took it from? That you pay, that you get from vice president, that you say you are living on loan, nothing, you are park car. How much they are paying you? Or you want us to talk about the group of 77? So you see why they can't go? You see why they can't go back? That's why they can't go back. Because Amara Connor will be in trouble. Joe Bucker will be in trouble. Robert Sirleaf will be in trouble. They all will be in trouble. Because what they did is out there. There's a file for them, but he can't go back. So I rest for now. We dare them. We dare them. We dare the Unity Party people to do their witch hunts. And let me make it clear. If they go, look, if you go to the court and you go through the proper channel, of course, we are party of law.
Good job, Kev. That's why you're talking.
Party
Party of law.
Yeah,
That's what you're talking
right?
about. Now you're talking the language, Kev. Now you're talking the language, Kev. Party of law. Now you're talking.
If you want to go through
agree with me.
method, if you want to go through the method of decree,
Kev, agree with me.
Stand up with you. We'll stand up. We'll resist. We'll resist it.
Kev, I said agree. Is a party of law. Just what I said.
Yeah.
No, we're a party of law.
Of course, respect the law. That is true.
We are a party of law. But if you want to use a method by decree, they will show you that we're strong too. It will not happen. We now let the Unity Party, which by law, their chairman were found guilty of corruption. Guess what happened? Amos Twe, you see, took men against the law. You say nobody will touch the chairman. This Amos Twe. Joe Bucker was not vice president at that time. You were not in the country at that time. The level of amnesia in this pape is so telling that I know where he come from. Let leave it.
Yeah, but you know, I mean, look, it's good everybody weigh on this. On a serious note, I repeat, and look, when you take over a country where the country you won 50.6% of the vote and the other man won 49.3%, it was a divided country, and you want to bring jobs to the country, you want to bring opportunities to the country, you want investors to come in the country, but you think any investor would then yet right now CDC planning or a protest, nationwide protest. You think who will put the money into a country where and the people are want protest all the time on protest? And then don't forget, don't depend on America. America right now they own an election bin. In fact, this year, almost all the major countries in the world they're having elections. Even our man Putin, he running today.
Half of the world having elections.
Yeah. And Vladimir Putin, he running today. I know you win because you know it.
Oh, he having election today?
Yeah, he running. He got two.
Who you running against?
He already won. Tell me that one. He already won.
You got America in a tough election. You got the two old men running for president. And you think the people really careful, like, bro. Look, that gets serious. That gets serious. And so the best President Boga can do, he got to govern from the center. And like people are saying, if you start to go use force on the people, I mean, you say, oh, police go arrest the person, go arrest the person, send anyone. I mean, you can't do that. The economy is divided. You won't go through that process. Madam Salif, when the woman was popular, but she was popular more than you, Boga. Madam Salif used to call people, say you're talking to Weir, tell him I want to be with him. I want to be with Bronsky. I want to be with the person. And how you do it as a president. Be the opposition leaders and let them be constructive. But you won't come with arrogance. If I come with that vindictive behavior, you're not going to succeed, though. And I pray that President Boga will rethink right now, before I end. He got a work-around school. People just not threaten him. You got Yeke already telling you, say, he pushing on impeachment. I mean, Yeke already on your back. You got you got how you call it, the guy? The other guy that came for the culture ambassador, he left. The guy said, nah, he's going to go after you. You got people. I mean, so much things the man got to do right now, and he on asset recovery, trying to do this one, do that one.
Let me come here. We say all of this. Who created Joe Boga? And the CDC created him.
What made CDC create Joe Boga?
If CDC did not want it, they should have given it to him to come in at least. But you went broad. You went your own man on board. You gave him money when he was sick. You gave him money when he was sick. You try out of the country and take everything. He comes back now.
Let me say this.
Somebody, at the mention of his name, he goes back and says, see, I'm fighting for you, uncle. I'm fighting for you, and I'm telling you. So every time you mention his name, he feels like he's doing his job. Leave him alone. Just leave him alone.
I want to say something quickly.
I want to bring the book.
I want to say something quickly. I also received some information that, my own friend, he's not my friend, really. I told me a friend. Prince Johnson. I hear that he got people in Nimba.
Yes.
Calling on radio stations. Telling the people to organize to protect him. And look, I don't know what his thought process is. I don't know what he's thinking. But we wait to see what the president will do. That's all I would say for now.
No, but people told me, he said, my son, he said, go rest. There will be no walk around calling Liberia. He told me, Bole.
Okay.
He said, no walk around call coming Liberia.
We'll wait and see what We'll wait and see what the president will do, because we'll see if they pass if the Senate will go ahead and pass it. But guys, $692 million. I can't wait to get my hands on that budget. I can't wait to see
what's going to generate that fund.
Guys, I think
they were generated. I mean,
we can easily generate it, but how would it be used? I think we should actually
see the appropriation. The appropriation.
Right, we should have an entire program of people from a finance background to come and hopefully go through that. In fact, we should provide them a week to go through the entire budget, digest it, and then come on here and pinpoint some of the things that they see on there and why they feel like some of those things should not be
But
even.
That why you're going to catch the criminal now. They want they budget that
Right,
criminal.
when the budget is provided, right? When the budget is provided, we don't even keep it. Once you get your hands on the budget, we provide it. We just have a team. We set up a team of financial analysts, experts, however you want to term them, and say, guys, we gave you a week to go and review the entire budget, put together what you make of it, and come back on the show, and we will listen to you so that you can deliberate on what you think of it, what you make of it, and then we will ask you our question while we're doing our own review of it.
We invited we finance minister. We invite to come.
Oh, Tamerlane. So you can use all these bullets. I think. Okay, so you're saying when we invite him on the day where those guys are going to come, where the experts are going to come? Is that what you're saying?
Bring the people, yeah. We engage them with the budget.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, okay, we can do that. Yeah, okay, I agree with that. I agree.
What was the budget? What was the last budget that was submitted by the WIA administration?
It was around 600.
600, right? Yeah. So
it was 625.
Okay, so it's about 60 plus million, right?
67, they added 67 million. There's 67 million on this budget. But let me say something quick. They talk about the states, right? Let me ask you guys this: it's 625, not 623, 625. But let me ask you something. They said they met the country in what language GMB and said talk about in the dying state, right? But the budget is 692 million, as opposed to CDC came in. Ellen raised the budget to 500 million, right? And they were boasting all around. But CDC budget was 625 million. They put it up. They even make it better to 692. So that's suggesting that areas are performing revenue, because we want to see in this budget is a domestic revenue base, or maybe they're getting money for external and budget support on the budget. So if this budget is domestic, based on domestic revenue, this shows that the country is moving in the right direction.
What was the previous
budget? Say that again.
I said, what was the previous budget?
Well, the previous budget, 2023 budget, was 780 something million. 2023.
780.
780 something.
Okay.
That was the previous 2023 budget.
So Julius,
yeah.
Have Andrew traveled to Ghana to his treatment?
We'll get to that in a little bit.
Yeah, my man, you guys change the budget.
We'll get to that. Guys, you don't get phone. You don't do that, man. You don't get phone way.
I know.
Andrew, for me, you don't just reach to the man first. Yeah.
So you look at this budget, but during election, you have government spend money. So you see the budget may not be the same as the previous budget. So the 2024 budget will even be lower because of the election. But what I'm saying is that because of the budget, high budget, so that shows that areas are performing. Tomlin, George, and guys, a question.
No, but Kev, I can tell you one thing though. Like Ben said, they will be able to raise the money, because look, they got an LRA. That's somebody who I know who understands how to do domestic mobilization of revenue, or double jala. He will raise the money, but the guy was saying that he raised the money, but he will be very careful. You'll be on their backs. I won't be raising money for the government.
But let me ask you. So that means
prioritized.
So that means the domestic revenue, because under the Unity Party, most of the revenue was from and foreign a budget, external budgeted support.
Yeah, but now,
They were
but don't
raising-
forget that right
No,
now,
wait, let me finish. They were raising more money abroad from government and outside, but CDC government were raising most of their money for domestic revenue. And as you know that the CDC government raised more money from domestic revenue than in the past. So are we saying that since this government coming in power, we'll look at the budget to see that if this budget, most of the money they're talking about is from domestic revenue, meaning that something working somewhere.
well, don't forget, Liberia is under the IMF program. So, Ellen government they were not under that program. So now, but we expect them to be able to mobilize the domestic revenues to meet the budget goal.
Yeah, but the IMF program doesn't mean if you're not on it, doesn't mean it will stop you from raising.
No, I would say they will also, don't forget to also have direct budget support. The U.S. government will help them with direct budget support.
That's what I'm trying to say here.
Like they did the previous government.
The external budget support under the past year, and now this past government, the CDC government never had that luxury of having that kind of support. But
they get direct budget support from
okay, Tomlin.
Yeah,
we're talking about the amount. We're talking about the amount. They never. But that's the thing, because we know the support that the 12 years of that government, the UP government, they have more support than now, right? So what I'm saying here is now, if this government is getting, I wish Larry was.
No, but my concern, our concern is
government get the money for their own country. They get the money for their own country on domestic revenue.
Yeah, but for me, my concern is how the money will be appropriated. My concern. I don't raise the money, but we want to see what we'll do this. What do we prioritize? Will they prioritize health, education?
Yeah, but we can't talk about the budget now. We cannot talk about the budget now because we won't see a year. So there's no way we can talk about the.
It's submitted the budget today, right?
Yeah, so but we cannot talk about it. We cannot talk about the budget
year. You were talking about
the budget today, so you can talk about it.
It was submitted yesterday.
Yeah. Well, you were talking about how they're going to be supported. They're probably going to get foreign direct support to the budget.
Yeah, they will.
They will.
They will.
No. That's not my is. No, that's not my
the concern is the money now be mobilized. How would they prioritize? How would they appropriate the money?
Yeah, but again, okay. Let me say this: when you generate your own money for your own country, it shows strength in your economy. It shows strength. It shows strength. If you have donor funds carrying your country, it don't show strength. It show a weaker economy it show an economy who I would call a false economy because it doesn't show anything.
That's not from Samuel Dotan to Joseph Bagatan, like probably getting money from they've been getting foreign assistance. Okay, so that's not my issue. And no matter who I want in election, they will still get direct foreign support.
Tommy,
what issue is that?
Your duty.
That's not one place to follow. They will decide. We determine how to get the money, raise the money. We'll know in a few months. We'll know it. Right now,
they'll raise their own.
Yeah, let's see how to raise the money.
Revenue generation and all of that.
Yeah.
But we have to see it. We have to see it. We have to see the budget that we know how they reach to 692.
My concern, to be honest with you guys,
budget is projection.
Allocation.
It is a projection.
My concern here is allocations. Yeah, that is just what I'm concerned about.
But we want to know how much. We want to know. We want to know how the budget, how they get there. So where they cut, where they added, where they getting their money from. So we'll have to look at it.
And I think this is why we will bring in people with the finance background who probably may have been following the the
Exactly.
financial aspect of things,
Exactly.
and we'll have the opportunity to keep copies for ourselves to review them, and then we can do our own research and pose these questions. But let me say this to you, right? What from all indications, what I'm hearing from Kev Hassan here and that of everyone on the platform tonight is simple. The major concern here that all of us should focus on is where are they allocating these funds and how is it going to benefit the general public? How much of this money is going to go in the pockets of these lawbreakers?
That's what we're
All
going
right.
to see, bro. That we're going to see what happens.
Right. And we will see that. And in the go ahead, bro.
But you on the red point, what I'm saying, just continue the flow.
Yeah, so I mean that is going to be our major concern because over the years, unfortunately, Liberians have not had the opportunity to really just experience what it's like to see how these budgets are formed, the funds that are allocated for who, what, when, where, all of these things.
But
when we
it's
start to
Lofa, it's our duty to inform the people or teach the people.
Right.
I don't know to know what
and I agree.
What they need to look for in the budget, because the budget is big. You get a lot of technicality there that a lot of people, you gotta be a finance guy to understand.
But
That's the reason why.
Let me say something now, guys. The people submitted a budget yesterday, right? That money is they talk about. The money is not saying on the bango. No, that is not there.
No, it's for projection. Yeah,
it is a projection.
It's not there.
So Sintamali, right? It is a projection with the expectations that they will be able to raise that money. But don't forget, as part of this rescue train, Amara Kone is part of this rescue train. Budget short for how many times?
No, Amara Kone, no, do that.
He may not be on this particular financing team.
What conversation you trying to inject Amara Kone into it? Look at what?
This is Amara. No, this is
Amara.
You know what? Going forward, I will not mention Amara Kone until I'm ready to ask for his asset declaration. I won't mention him anymore.
But let's talk about what we expect to see from that budget, because we expect to see some of the things and that the promise, as Ben was saying, we expect to see that. Then so if we don't see that, we will ask them, because for me what I'm looking at because we were massively flogged because they said to us that we cut the people pay, they will take our harmonization, we this, we that. So I want to see that my people will get a pay raise. If they get a pay raise, we will come here and say kudos. So we want to see that. If it's not there, they will have to put it there. And if it's not there, I will urge my senators and my other lawmakers and to reject that budget. Now vote for that budget.
Right now they broke. Senator, they got money as they broke. They want to get a new car. I beg you, yeah.
Well,
in the budget, they budget each lawmaker getting a brand new car in the budget.
I spoke to
reject the car.
But I spoke to some of my senator friends who said they will go out publicly and they will talk about.
Who you spoke to?
Let me refuse that car first.
Yeah, I would.
Which one you spoke to? I thought you said you would go.
The budget.
They'll do a press
conference. About 35,000 for car.
Press conference.
Refuse it where? I beg you, yeah.
Not there. And I'm telling you, watch for now to next week. Watch for now.
But people, the law. You see that on the auction ground in America looking for a car.
So Dominic, let me ask you a quick question, right? Let me ask you a quick question. So what you're saying, and just for the benefit of the listening audience, every budget year, these lawbreakers get new car?
No, not every
year. Every 3 years.
3 years.
Every 3 years they get new cars. What happened to the previous vehicles they had?
For them,
they depreciate that.
You see, And
I
these are
love
some of
makeup.
the
I
things.
respect now. I love makeup.
But here's the thing, right? I will, and again, I'll give all of us the opportunity to just do your own research. Don't take it from me. North Carolina, okay, the budget is there. Even the treasure.
If I start
When
giving
I
people
work
hard
with
time,
the
why
treasure,
you give people hard time here with
no,
the comparison?
what I'm saying here, Ben.
I mean, you don't have a serious country. You don't have a serious country.
It is not easy. No, Ben, Ben,
Stop
Ben.
doing this.
My thing here is what makes us to be any less important than other countries. Why are people so selfish? Because
You,
reality is this,
you are
Ben.
less important. You are less important because your voters decide what they want to do.
You know what?
I'm not going to have my hair.
Ben,
Look,
seriously,
I'm advocating for.
honest
You know the
note,
thing I'm advocating for in the budget. I'm advocating for them to increase the civil service salary. That all. But all the other thing is a waste of my time.
So Ben, when Ellen left, what was civil service salary?
I don't remember, but I mean, she raised it. She raised it.
But then we are raising in last edition address, right?
Yeah. It did.
So he raised it at 150.
Well, no, I think it's a little higher than 150 now.
So Baka promised that civil servant will make more than that, right?
Yeah, the whole campaign was.
The budget that we proposed, the 625 million budget, the civil servant salary will increase there. So we'll see whether they took it out.
So let me ask a question to Ben. Anybody can ask a question to answer my question. So the wise fees, even though I know it's not into law,
question.
But so how we are paying our money, Ben?
So no, he was paying it from the budget.
From the budget, right?
We're taking it from the budget, yeah. They were taking it from the government.
So what are they? So when I ask Baka, what is they ask? What is it to do with it?
Yeah, so that was one of the promises. You remember one of our promise was he was going to enact it into law. Right? It would have been a law when he got reelected, right? Boyka didn't really campaign against it, right?
Okay.
Because they understood it wasn't a touchy. It was a touchy issue. What I would sense here, right, especially for the free education, the free university, and the wire thing, and my guess, and I'm really, really hoping and praying that my guess is that they're not stupid to take it off. I'm sorry. I just don't think. I think it would just be too foolhardy for them to take it out of the national cake. And let me say this. I think that's one of the things that, you know how in this country, President George Bush, right, enacted PEPFAR, the thing for Africa, right? Mm-hmm. Up to this day, it is still considered as probably one of the most progressive, forward-thinking policies of U.S. Direct assistance to external assistance. Every government that has come has built on PEPFAR, have made it better. They've strengthened it. They've added Obama added Power Africa as a component to PEPFAR. I'm waiting to see the day in our country where a policy like free education, free college education, the next president can come. I'm waiting to see it. Look, that's why I say something. I don't understand who can advise these people. If our president Joe Buckeye, that state of the nation, he would have included in there. He would have included it in there to say, listen, this is a policy that I believe we should make law. Because our students demand, but guess what? Not only make it law though, right? Not only make mission-free law, but I'm also asking for an increment in the budget to build.
But Ben, let me ask you something. Ben, let me ask you something. You witnessed Amara Conner confirmation hearing?
Confirmation for
what?
Not Amara Conner, Buema Kamara.
No, I didn't. No.
Okay, they asked him about the WASP fee. His answer was, not everybody entitled to WASP fee. They will look into it. It's not something they feel they will give holistically. Yeah. So as maybe I stand to be corrected, right? WAS registration should be going on. I think for the past 3-4 weeks, how people are saying it. They 112 budget. They're not even capturing nothing on the WAS. That tells me that it's not something that they're thinking about right now, because what we getting, they're struggling how to put things here and there. The same thing with the LU student with the university free tuition. University open now, but there's still nothing here. Everybody waiting for this budget to see, but nothing there yet.
Yeah, but again, as I say, I'm waiting to see what they do. Maybe he said it during his thing, but I think it would be politically stupid for them to take it off. I think it would be inhumane. Forget political stupid. I think it would be inhumane for them to do that. I would expect them to build on that. I think they should. I think what they should also do is to strengthen that, to go a little further, to increase the budget for education, to increase the budget for health. Let's not forget now, and remember, this is something else that I'm going to be looking forward to in that budget. The last national budget, we spent $20-something million on national elections, correct? We don't have elections this year. Where is that money going to?
No, it was more than that. It was more than that, Ben.
Okay, whatever amount we spent, right?
It was
but
more than that.
The last budget, wherever we spent on election, I will also want to see how are they reappropriating that money. That money should, in my mind, if we were able to survive spending that kind of money on election and everything else worked, we should be able to take that chunk of money immediately and split it up between maybe education, health, and maybe ICT development or something like that. But you know what they're going to do? They're not going to do that. What they're going to do is they're going to take that money and they're going to prop up individual ministry budgets. They're going to increase, like you say, cars for them and do so and so. So we're going to be waiting to see what they're going to do with that.
So guys,
Ben,
my question.
That's what I'm looking at, though. I'm looking at this, right? I want to see what will be the budget for the presidency, the Minister of State, the office of the vice president, office of the speaker, the deputy speaker. I want to see all these people. I want to see their budget, because now, if the budget they are submitting, if they're making an appropriation, if the budget is more than what CDC had, then I mean they are being deceptive. They lie, because they said that the money was too high. If the budget
what would be considered acceptable to you? What would be an acceptable reduction to you?
For instance, right? Let's assume that President, we have budget for the presidency was $2 million. I could see Joe Biden maybe get $1 million.
So you think half? You're saying 50%?
Yeah, because he said it was waste, too much waste. If I see such a thing, I will say, okay, then Baka really mean business. He's serious.
So you think?
But let me ask you something, Ben. Let me ask you something. Look at the employees at the mansion. Look what Joe Baka employed at the mansion around his team. Is this a small government or a big government?
What do you mean a small, big government? I don't understand what you mean.
How many minister of state he got? How many minister of state? The last government had one deputy. Wait! I'm going somewhere, Ben. I don't want you to trade that away. Please, I'm going somewhere. Don't trade. Good, Larry is on the show. Thank you, my brother Larry, to come. What a relief.
I really had to go to Professor Larry's house to put him on this show today. Really?
Ben, I know you said it that a president can hire as many minister of state with our portfolio. Yes. The last government had one. How many minister of state with our portfolio GMB hire or appointed?
But let me say this.
Right? But listen now. If it's more than one, is that a big government?
But you can't determine government size by appointing 1 or 2 ministers.
No. I say no. Ben. When you want a small government, you start with your office. You start with your people. I don't want you to throw that and play politics with it.
I'm not playing politics.
Because if you pack the mansion with 4-5 minister of state with our portfolio, that means the budgets are going to the mansion, or it will be big because they all have different functions.
Of course.
So the budget will be big. I want us to focus on that. So the budget will be big. Yeah.
Yeah, be careful because according to the Ministry of State, when they asked during our convocation hearing, the Deputy Minister said that Ministry of State employees they actually should have been 700, but they said they inherited CDC left 1,000 plus there. I want Cornelius Craig to the.
No. Listen, I'm not talking about those.
Oh, but
I'm talking about the position Minister of State without portfolio.
No, but
I'm talking about that position. How many ministers? You see, but that's the problem right there. Leader one.
So
Kev,
I think what Tamale is saying here, you can hire 2 persons for the price of 1.
Right, I'm going to say.
What I mean,
right? You can hire 2 persons for the price of 1.
So what if that? What I mean?
What that means? What that means? I'm saying to you, you claim that President Weah's attorney he had 1 person, right? 1 minister of state for presidential affairs.
1 minister say we have portfolio.
Okay, and in President Boykot's time, he has 2 of them, right?
No, more than 2. There's a lot that he gets.
Okay, so what if we were to say what was the salary or the budget for that position?
They all carrying the same salary. They didn't change their salary as they.
How you know that?
Because it's a base salary is there. They didn't change it. They didn't announce it.
You think it's a base salary?
Yeah. What I'm saying is, you know how it works. You know how it works. And the Minister of State will have portfolio. If you have like 4, they all will have the staffs and their pay.
It left with them at a business.
So they all will have it. So it's
I don't see the amount.
Well, if you have one, that's one. There's that staff honor them. But let's say you hire Julius, Minister of State will have portfolio. You have your own staff too. You hire Ben.
We'll know when the provisions right now. We can talk on that.
It's kind of big. You get my point right now. Yes.
Okay, I get your point.
Yeah, Professor Larry.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, let me say this, right? The new government just submitted a budget. They submitted to the legislature yesterday. Now, as a financial person, what are you looking for in our budget? What are you looking for? What should we be looking at? Looking at?
So I'm really interested in knowing how much out of the budget is going to go towards development. Because if you don't have a large chunk of it going towards development, then most of it just recurrent expenditures. They're just paying people salaries, paying for trips and all that other stuff that doesn't lead to development. Because the problem is, if you don't put a lot more money into development, the economy is not going to grow. People are not going to have money. Jobs is not going to be created. You're going to have a stagnant economy, and that's going to create a lot of problems down the road. So I'm really just looking to see how much is for the people, not how much is for the government, the executive or the judiciary or the legislative branch. How much goes in there for the people that leads towards development? That's all I'm looking to see.
So Larry, my last question to you before the guys come in. So, what do you think the mobilize the revenues will be coming from? Which area of the economy will be looking at to mobilize revenue to meet up that budget goal?
You see, the big problem that Bureau has is over the years, the economy hasn't grown domestically. Most of the growing that you see is on the extractive sectors. People coming in there, they're extracting iron ore, they're extracting diamond, or they're extracting gold and things like that, palm oil. But the revenue comes from the fees. They come from renting. We rent all of our resources, the fisheries, we're renting pretty much everything. The mining concession, that's all renting. That's where a bulk of the revenue comes from. And we're being suckered. The people are taking advantage of us. All the concession agreements, they're taking major advantage of us. What we need to do is to find a way to diversify the economy. You got to diversify the economy. Because if you're just focusing on the extractive sectors, you're going to run into a lot of problems. This is why you see a lot of African countries do not develop. Take a look at places like Democratic Republic of the Congo. Democratic Republic of the Congo has a mineral in there that every cell phone computer in this world, 50% of that usually comes from the DRC. Why are they so poor? Because everybody that goes into government, they want to control their resources. So revenue comes from renting, but we got to find a way to get revenue in and stay in the economy. So that's where when you see, I think President Boyka talked about it. He wanted to do some type of a value addition, some manufacturing in the country. If you don't do that, it's just the same cycle, man. It's just the same cycle. You know, people come in, they rent iron ore, they do mining, they do fisheries, they do lumber, they do all kinds of nonsense, and they take that stuff out of the country. You know, and then the rest of the money comes from borrowing. It comes from a lot of borrowing. That's why the debt grew under President Weah, because he did a lot of borrowing. And rest assured, this government will have to do a lot of borrowing too. You know, borrowing, grants, and then renting a lot of our resources. That's where a lot of the money comes from. And that's not going to grow any economy. I've never seen it work anywhere. You know, I don't expect it to work in Liberia.
Sorry. I saw Sonny Jenna on a comment. So Larry, so are you all in all what I'm hearing you saying here is that we domed.
Nothing's going to change. But you see, I'm going to pull this budget into one of my software over the weekend, and I'm going to analyze it. I'm going to pull it into one of my tools, and I'm going to break it down and analyze it a little bit more. Because if this budget doesn't focus on reducing the size of the government, the president had a great opportunity to get rid of things like the Ministry of Information. That's one.
But he just appointed him new Minister of Information.
I know, but he had an opportunity not to take that route. Reduce the government. Get rid of the Ministry of Information. You don't need it. Let every ministry have their own little press secretary or something like that. Get rid of that.
And he ran on small government. He talked about we'll shrink the government. We'll bring the government down. That's the way we can save money. But it seems to me that hiring a bigger government, if you look in every area, if you just look at this government, it's a big government. You know, folks will now want to hear it and say, oh, this, but he ran on shrinking government, you know, especially the Ministry of Information. You know, he said, look, we don't need it. We don't need it. He said it. So by you creating a big government, but anyway, everything that the JMB ran on is doing the opposite. Basically, that's it. But again, the budget, we have to see it in order to analyze it well. Am I correct, Mr. Kennedy?
You gotta break it down and see what percentage of this budget is going to go towards development, because that is the key problem. If you don't have a lot of it going towards development, think about this. You've seen this in Liberia. You guys been around a long time. You've seen this in Liberia. If something were to happen in terms of some endemic, you know, some disease or illness or something affecting the world globally, if you have the people who are extracting, when the extractive sectors, when the guys have to leave for a little bit of time, the whole entire economy is going to collapse. You saw it during COVID. It wasn't so bad in COVID, but you saw it during Ebola.
And again, Larry, this asset recovery, he also mandated the finance minister to include money in the budget for it. So who knows, the 67 million that he added to this, maybe that's for it. Who knows? Yeah. Right? Yeah. So it's it's gonna take them years. It's gonna take them years to come up. It's not something that would come up tomorrow and say, okay, Larry, you're guilty, and this, you gotta go through this, you gotta go through that. So that money spending there. So you see how he opening the budget and it become big. So instead of, as Ben said, using the integrity agency to go on this asset recovery, which is already their budget, which will have our partners, them even spending money there. No, he decided to open a job area for certain people and taking money from the budget and spending it there again. That money going to waste, nothing not going to come out of it. People going to chop, they eat their money, they go.
They're taking the wrong approach to asset recovery. I would say this for President Weah. He had the right idea, but the execution was poor. He ran into issues on the execution, and I don't know what happened in the background. But he had the right idea, and the right idea was to bring the international forensic investigators. The Grant Thornton, from the UK. He brought in people from the US. People were involved at a very high level in the US. That is what asset recovery is, right? Because a lot of countries, they do that stuff because there are billions stolen from African countries, especially Liberia. Liberia has billions out there, right? Didn't you guys hear about 8 million or so was hanging out there over in the UK? And I think the previous asset recovery team put a freeze on it or something like that. So the money is outside the country. But I think what they're doing is they're looking at whether it's recovering cars, asking people, how did you get the money for this house that you purchased? But let me ask you guys this question. Who holds the responsibility of proving when it comes to asset recovery? Is it So is it the government that has to prove that somebody stole?
Of course, it's the government that has to prove.
Or is it going to be the person that has to?
No, how can the person incriminate themselves? It's like you're trying to act. It's like sitting you remember when the CPP investigation, they say Cummings for provide evidence against
exactly.
So how do you ask somebody to come to you and say, I'm going to provide you evidence that I stole money to build a house?
Exactly.
The person can
Where are they going to get the proof?
Loan, they can provide a mortgage, and they can say, oh, you know what? I took this mortgage or I took this loan from this bank to be able to pay for this house. What can you say? This is look.
Where are you going to get the proof to prove that people stole the money? Is there an audit trail? No self-respecting African government official will leave a clear audit trail for you to catch them like that. So I don't know who's going to prove it. And they're going to get tied up in a lot of rigmarole in Liberian court.
Yep.
Take that thing outside of the international scene where money has been wired out, then you stand a good chance of bringing in some international people in there to do the investigation. But you keep that stuff locally. Yeah, I like what they're doing in terms of making a big noise about it, but I don't think anything's going to come from it.
So, Brother Larry, let me just be honest with you, right? In my view, I think the asset recovery team was simply meant to appreciate people for their contribution to the campaign. That's what it simply was about.
Are you saying it was a pay for play?
It is a pay for play, because just look at the list of people that have been nominated to serve in that capacity, and let us look at the ability to produce. The reason why any agency will hire people, and I continue to say, it's not to keep you as a liability. Instead, they expect you to be an asset to that institution. Look at that entire list. You sincerely believe that we can get anything back from anybody, whether it is from the CDC government or the previous government? Do you sincerely, in your heart, I mean, let us not be political, let's just be upfront. Do you sincerely believe that we will get anything back, even a penny, from that entire team that have been organized?
I think
Man, yeah, Dominic, you need to stop.
I think net is going to probably end up costing them some money. Net. If you look at how much money you're going to spend going after this stuff, as opposed to how much you actually recover, I think net they're going to end up costing them a little bit of money, because they're going to get tied up in a lot of legal stuff in the courts.
That's what's going to happen. It's just going to be a whole bunch of mess. They will get tired. Look, this is a total distraction.
So it's just a waste of money, Liberians' money.
And let me also tell you why I think. Let me tell you one of the things that I also think is happening here. I think there is an attempt here to distract the population from the missteps in the early stages of this government. People are getting ready to start asking questions about the 100-day deliverables. But people today I saw Patrick Horner posting something with two yellow machines saying that they started deploying yellow machine on the highways. I mean, you know, this kind of cheap.
That dude there, he's a funny kind of guy. I understand.
These little cheap things that they do that, you know, and it's almost like
dude's a funny kind of guy.
yeah, no, but it's serious because I saw a post from him and I saw it flying around. They had two pictures with two yellow machines, and they say, "Oh, JMB has started fixing the roads." Well, I mean, when do we get serious in our country? When do we get serious in our country?
So,
You know,
so what happened to the $41 million that were approved? Where is it now?
what do you mean? Where is it?
It's different from the budget.
Of course, but what's going to happen is they're going to have to explain how they use that money because that money is going to have to come.
That man gone.
For the budget.
Papa use that man to go Ghana, Ivory Coast, other man.
The man say, I think I didn't know my from the
Papa Andrew feel. He said, I think I didn't want to. I said, Papa, stop it. Don't do that thing. Stop it.
Well, the lawmaker then will have to ask if this 112 is included in.
No, but yeah, we tell you right now. Send the people to war. They put your money out. They put broke. All the put money they spend on the campaign. They can't wait for the budget to pass. And remember what the guy said when they used to pass the budget? By the time the budget passed, one of the guys will go to the bank. He'll wait by the teller. Say the check account. Now check and say, he got it mad. The cash is gone. What did you do, Larry? They will go to the car dealership. I bet some of them already done it. They'll go to Alliance Motors. Let's say, Larry, the budget I get $35,000 in the budget for my car. So please give me that car I want.
But listen.
Take the car already.
Tommy, I'm not going to listen. You know, one of the things I will say, I wish Ben can come on. Let me say this: that we're blessed. We now we have a very, very serious guy, Speaker Fanati Kufa, who will not boil down into that little thing. He will scrutinize it. He will look at it. He will look at the budget. So I trust in Fanati Kufa. I trust in his ability to not just go into that budget and just cave and say, okay, this. He will look into it. So I trust in. No, listen. I trust into Fanati Kufa, and the reason I know I have one or two chat with him through
me too.
I know that I trust that he will look into this budget. I'm not saying he will hold the country under hostage or say we will not pass it, but Fanati will look into this budget and then. Things for the people will they will flag it, and I
so Kev, let me add. I want to make sure we're talking about the same country, right? This is the same legislator that went to the president's house and they were having discussions before they decided on who the speaker is. We talk about the same legislator, right? Because I want to make sure that's we're not talking about two different sets of people.
Thank you, Larry.
You see, until Fanati Kufa proved that he would just do something, I remain a strong supporter of and Speaker Kufa because I believe in his ability to look into this budget and scrutinize it in a way that some of us will make sense of it. I don't believe Mr. Kufa will do that.
The buffer chamber scrutinize the budget.
The man only got one vote. He speak about he got one vote. So if
he didn't get vote, he's a presiding officer.
Listen. Buffer chamber, our budget that we send to the House, our budget makes sense.
Look, can we talk about something else?
Let me say this.
Let's talk about something else. When Kev start going,
and there's a reason why Kev will do these things, right?
Yeah,
he wants to get on he wants to get under people's skin. I feel the same way you feel.
Ben, let me ask you something.
Let me just land on this note.
I want to ask you. Let me ask you something.
Can I land on this note?
Wait. I want to ask you something. You talking about get on this guy. I want to ask you something. You think providing same budgets to to Congress, then Biden surrogate will come and say budget back?
They are
Are you
people
serious?
with backbones. They are
No, but
courageous.
you're saying, oh, I get you under your skin.
No, so what's your point?
If my
What is your
government
point?
send budget to there and they pass the budget, you expect me to say what?
Okay, so now what I feel like talk something else.
You move for them.
No,
Yeah,
at this point,
look at
at
it.
this point, I want us to start.
You expect me to criticize my budget? No, I cannot criticize my budget. You can do it. It's up to you. You can.
And that's what
criticize it.
that's
But
what
I
I said.
agree with my budget because you know why I agree with my budget, Larry? Because my budget pay WAEC fee, pay university fee. So I agree with my budget.
Can we
If I
talk
don't see it
about
there, if I don't see it there, I will criticize.
guys?
If you want to criticize my budget, you can do it.
The
But-
former
but-
president,
but-
you know,
give
I'm
me-
trying to, you know,
Give me
I'm
10
trying to
seconds
help.
with
No, I
Kev
beg you,
Butler.
Larry, I beg you 1 second. I'm trying to help Kev because I don't want him. You know, I'm aligning with the CDC now. I don't want us to dig into the CDC. So I'm trying to. You see me? I'm trying to pivot for the conversation because there's
I
certain
see
things I
that.
don't want to talk about.
I
Even
see
in my
that.
alignment
Come
with
on.
them. Even in
It's
my alignment
Friday.
with them, I don't want to talk about certain things, right? But I was very surprised. Go ahead, Larry. Sorry. Go ahead.
Just one for Kev. Kev, it is great that the budget pay WAEC fee, it pay all those things, and build all the hospitals. What good is a budget if you have the largest budget deficit in the history of the country? What good is that if you have the largest budget shortfall? Because anybody can come and put something in the budget, but you're not able to pay for it. So what good is that then? Because your government, CDC, had one of the largest budget shortfall. They even had a fiasco one time when it was reported that the budget shortfall was so big. They ran to the CBL, the central bank, and they told them to remove it off the central bank's website. And then people criticized him, and they ended up putting it back
You see what I
again.
was talking about? You see that's exactly what I was talking about, right?
Listen, but let me say this to
You're
you.
gonna try to act like you
No,
come in
no,
defending.
listen, let me say this to you. You see, when it comes to budget, the same thing in this country. You can disagree.
Yeah, please stop comparing.
No, stop, Ben.
No, but please stop comparing America budget and
Okay,
Liberia budget.
but Ben,
Why are
that's
you doing that?
Ben. That's why we're not. That's why
Stop
we're not.
posting oranges. How do you compare the U.S. budget
Ben,
and Liberia budget?
Ben,
How do you do
Ben.
that?
No, I'm not comparing the budget.
That's what you're trying to do here.
No, I'm comparing the argument.
What argument?
Okay, that sit and enjoy the ride.
But enjoy where are you? Where's here? What time on the show?
Yeah, that's it. No, Ben, sit and enjoy the ride. No.
When you coming to argue, you define the measurement of success of a national budget on the payment of test fees. Do you know what a budget is? A national budget. You have a country. Say you want to talk, let's talk. You have a country where you literally are just paying people for doing nothing. That's what you have.
Okay,
You have
Ben.
a government where people are just paying people.
Ben, I don't think this is fair. I don't think this is fair to Kev. Can you sit back and enjoy the ride?
No, but let me
Kev,
say
go
this.
ahead.
Let me say that for you to come in. Let me say that for you to come in. You have a country where every year we pass a budget where a government people just go to work, sit down and play Zumba and don't do anything. Nothing. And they get paid at the end of the month. You have a ministry budget, right? Ministry of Public Works, Ministry of Education. Education budget is 50 million. I just throw in a number out there. $45 million is on salaries. What is this? How much is on operational expense? 200,000.
How much
How
is
much
on
is left for
development
people to invest in the sector?
programs?
One point something million. Is that a budget? What you have is a piece of paper with a small group of bureaucrats and 0.001% of the population leeching
of that
off of
budget?
99.9% of the country. That's what you have. You can't argue that. You want to talk about America's budget? America's budget? I mean, this is no argument.
Larry,
This
let me ask
is
a question.
what President Biden said, show me your budget, and I'll tell you what your priorities are.
Your priorities are. Thank you.
Larry, Biden said just submitted how many children that budget is submitted last week?
Listen, the Liberian budget is smaller than states, than counties' budget in this country.
Don't disparage our country. Stop it.
Is that a lie?
Okay.
Lofa, what is North Carolina budget? What is the state of North Carolina's budget? The state of North Carolina budget.
And I'm winning our own budget. Come on, don't say
The
that.
state of North Carolina.
The state of North Carolina.
2 minutes on the road, you
The
eh?
state of North- you talk- we're not talking about
2 minutes.
justice.
They got hospital budget. Hospitals.
You know the
It's
state-
not bad.
Hospitals in this
Don't-
country.
Let me
don't-
say you.
don't
Let me
keep our
send it to you
countrymen
right now.
stopping.
Tommy.
Don't do
Look
that.
at it.
Okay.
The state of North Carolina.
Listen,
Yeah, Google it, 2 minutes. Just go on Google and say, what is the state of
There you
North
go.
Carolina budget?
Larry.
Yeah.
Larry, let me say this. My argument. Let's look at the argument here in America, right? With Democrats putting the budget, right? They put a lot of stuff there that the Republican would call it a big government, giving money to folks who now working. A lot of pork in it, a lot of stuff in it, versus what the Republican will argue on. So everybody will look at their budget.
The people putting their budgets.
People,
Writing your budget.
Ben,
Yeah.
man, keep
Oh,
a
no,
cool
my
head,
man,
man.
man.
Keep a cool head. Wait. But let me say, let me say this, right? So
Gwinnett County in
God,
Georgia.
man.
Gwinnett County or county. No, Kev. You need to hear this, Kev. Or county in Georgia is 1 billion. 1 billion. You stay struggling at 692 and you say you got a budget?
Okay.
You say you got a budget?
So,
you may not even make 692.
No,
You may not even
Professor,
make 692.
Professor Larry, this is
It's not
serious.
gonna make 690.
The smallest state in America, Rhode Island, the budget is 14.0 billion.
But Dominic, you this is
But
not
Tommy, what are you
This is
talking
a
about?
joke.
Seriously.
Oh,
Okay,
Wow.
Larry, let me
My
say this
God.
to you. Yeah, let me say this to you. I am
And-
not
and-
debating, but man, you guys stop, man. It's
Go ahead.
irritating now, man. I am not debating the amounts in the budget. We cannot compare the budget. Even Nigeria say you cannot compare with some state here. This is a rich country. I'm talking about the argument. I'm talking about the priorities in the budget. What I'm talking about, I see it. I see what we put in the budget, right? It makes sense to me. Other people, it don't make sense to them. That's okay. That's the argument. That's the argument. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the size of the budget. I'm not talking about that. It will be a fool to compare the budget to America budget. But tell me your way now. Let me make it clear before people go out there and take the wrong things and comparing the budget. No, I'm talking about. For me, I'm a
talking about the line
Republican.
items.
Yes, for me, I'm a Republican, right? I
Republican, you're Donald Trump, man.
I believe in certain things, right?
Don't go laugh.
What I believe, right? That's what I believe. I believe in Republican budget, so I agree with that. I believe in funding the border for people to not cross illegally. I believe in spending money there. I believe in building. I believe in. Listen, I believe in building the wall.
If they build a wall, you will not be in America.
Because I come through that
You
wall.
came to Mexico. What are you talking about?
Exactly.
You came to Mexico.
I'll got you Mexico.
What a story you told us. What a story you told us. How you and your people, how you and your parents here. You didn't come to Mexico.
I'll got you Mexico,
Man.
I'll got you Mexico.
So Larry.
Wait now, Hey, Tommy, I beg you, my brother. Let me end
Come into Mexico. Is it about building a wall?
You understand? So I believe in building the wall, right? But Democrats don't believe in building the. Democrats don't believe in spending money to build the wall. So what I'm trying to say here is, so when you say Republicans are wrong, it's over 70-something million to 80 million Republicans believe in building the wall is there, and that's what I believe in. So what I'm saying is, my budget that we put to doing our government time in Liberia, I believe in that. So don't criticize.
Now I understand your idea.
Okay,
your
Larry.
argument.
Now
I understand your argument. You're talking about your priorities.
My priorities.
You believe in the CDC government's priorities that they outline in the budget.
Yes.
My bad. I misunderstood you.
Thank you. That's all.
Yeah,
That's
Professor
what I'm
Larry.
saying.
Let me ask my question, right? My question is, Liberia is 178 years old. Why up to now, budget now, you haven't hit
Man,
$1 billion?
from
Why?
Texas to Mexico, man. That thing happened, but
Why?
it gone.
Larry, why? Why we're not hit the 1 billion threshold? Why we're not reach that mark?
Because we're not growing the economy. We're not growing the economy. Because when you grow the economy, people will pay taxes, and taxes will stay on ground, and then our taxes will go back into people starting more businesses, and the economy will continue to grow. That's how. Look at places like China. China has the second largest economy. China wasn't doing way much better than Liberia back in the 60s. Places like Singapore. GDP per capita in Singapore is higher than the United States, and Singapore was worse off than Liberia back in the 60s and 70s. Look at places like Botswana. Botswana just got their independence in November of 1966. Botswana is now a middle-income state, one of the few, along with South Africa. And Liberia, because we end up doing the same nonsense. We keep running to the World Bank for money. We keep running to the IMF. We keep running to the IDA, the African Development Bank, the Asian Development Bank, and all these sort of free money. We need to invest in the financial sector. No country has developed without having a means of taking money, putting it in the banking system, and lending that money to people who want to start business in the country. The price of iron ore is trading over 2,000. Over 2,000. Look at iron ore. We have an abundance of iron ore. We're not making use of it. Everybody come in to extract the gold. Look at gold. We have people running in from Ghana and other countries that will come and rip us off out of gold. Gold is around $700 or something, I think, an ounce. We have all those resources. We end up making the wrong mistakes. We don't invest in the right thing. Everybody want to go into government because they get a paycheck in there. Look at all the people that are fighting for positions.
Yep.
We don't invest in the private sector. It's a joke.
I got a question. I got a question for you, right? Just recently, I experienced something that I thought, because of my ignorance on finance and the economy, I thought about this for a second. What happened? What I experienced last week? My vehicle that was assigned to me, right?
Welcome, Jackie McKay. Jackie McKay, welcome.
The vehicle was swapped, right? It's older, 100,000 miles. That vehicle got taken from me, and I was provided a newer vehicle. But guess what happened? When that vehicle was taken from me, it was put out for auction. That auction, I'm not allowed to participate in the auction. My family is not allowed to participate in the auction, but it goes back to state's government. And we're talking about a state that with a $30 billion budget that was just passed. My question to you then, Larry, how does that impact? Does it in any way impact the economy to some extent? And if so, how does it give back to the people? Because I know the corruption aspect of it, because I really wanted to buy that purchase that vehicle, but I was not allowed to. And if I dare try it, I'll be in Liberia looking for a job. But the truth is, how does it help us to some extent?
So the two things happen in there. Whenever a state government get their hands on anything, they collect some type of a fee in the form of a tax.
Right.
That's how they collect the revenue. But you see, the thing is, the revenue that these states collect, they put it back into the economy. We, on the other hand, we don't do stuff like that. We don't put it back in the economy. We use it to pay salaries. We use it to change over people's vehicle every 36 months. Yep. We use it for people to fly private jets. We use it for a whole lot of nonsense that does not lead to development. When we should be investing in things like the internet. The internet will cause your economy to grow by at least 1 to 2 percentage points.
True.
I didn't say this, or you know who said it? It was the American government, the former Ambassador McCarthy. Why? Because we have Google and we have another company in there trying to get internet across Liberia. Since the internet came from, I think, Gabon or something back in 2012, the fiber optics, and hit Liberia, we're still fooling around with that nonsense. We're still fooling around with internet. We don't have, less than 33% of the population have access to internet. The American governments or governments in developed countries, they put the money right back into the system. They put it into education. They put it into workforce development. They put it into funding different projects. We don't do that stuff. We usually pay salaries. That's a joke.
But Larry, that's the reason why I said. That's the reason why I said last year we had elections, right?
Mhm.
We spent that is a little over 20-something million, right? I think a little over that. Either 30-something or whatever million we spent on elections last year, right? This year we don't have elections. Where is that money going to go? They're probably going to spread it around. They're going to increase the Ministry of State budget. They're going to increase the Ministry of this budget, the president budget, the vice president budget. That's what they're going to do with it, right? Whereas what you could do is to say, you know what, that's $30 million that should go towards national development, or an investment in education, or an investment in healthcare, or an investment in ICT, right? In ICT. Just say, you know what, this $30 million, we're going to close our eye and invest in technology, STEM, STEM education. But you're not going to do it. And like you said, to answer to buttress what you said, show me your priorities, and I will show you what 50 million. Somebody that said we spent 50 million on elections last year, right? $50 million. Imagine an investment in education, health, and ICT of $50 million. Do you know what it would do for the country? Do you know how it will literally leapfrog? We will leapfrog from where we are today. But they're going to do that. They're going to spread our money across the board, buy new cars. But guess what? Again, it comes down to the people, right? Because the people should know that $50 million was spent last year, and you're not spending $50 million. You know what's going to happen this year? They're going to go ahead and just re-budget it and put it all around, and people are going to play all in that money. That's what's going to happen.
Well, let me ask Larry. Larry, I heard that maybe you can bear me off that you are working to help our country with some people. But what happened? What broke down? What happened? You got one good for the country. What happened?
You know, at one time I had a meeting with. I had several colleges and universities assemble. We were going to help connect with the University of Liberia because they wanted to take trash and turn it into biofuel. So one of the local colleges over here, me and my man,
Ethiopia is doing that.
Yeah, me and my man, we had meetings, the colleges that were all on board. And we weren't bringing people who had no experience. These people had done it in other European countries from the university. We had several meetings, but the university didn't buy into it. And the president of the university over here, he asked me, he said, but Larry, what happened? I thought we had, they were on board to do this. That never happened. Also had another project where we're looking to create a partnership for telehealth. Not only did I show them an example of how it worked, because you know when people get sick in Liberia, they go to the hospital, they tell us, oh, they want to see their folder, or they want to see something that the people should have, but they don't have a health information management system.
Yes.
I did a video recording of how the health information management system works. I sent the video to several people. I said, here's the video. This is nothing. Not only can you use it on a computer, you can use it on a phone, you can use it on an iPad, use anything. So you to my name today, you come, they put in, either you can use your biometrics, your thumb to recognize you. You come in, we take your information. For whatever reason, let's say you can't use the hospital at JFK, you want to go to another hospital. That information now is in the cloud.
Of course.
You go to another hospital, they will know exactly why you came in over the JFK. It is across the entire country. It helps with the healthcare system. I said that if I call some of the names that I sent, I think to my man, Kev Hassan would probably get mad. But I recorded a video showing them this is how it actually works, right? But man, there were so many things we try to do, but people just didn't buy into it. Even the
other day, the city mayor of Monrovia, he was complaining about the trash, and then you are just telling us that while we're looking to throw our found place to throw our trash, we can make money out of the trash too.
I mean, remember I said on this show, if I will find that video, I said on this show, I saw a documentary on YouTube. I think it was CGTN documentary on a plant in Ethiopia that is supplying, I think, close to 30% of the energy needs of Ethiopia right now, purely from trash.
From trash.
Trash. The trash that people make, they take it to this plant and it turns it into clean energy. This is Ethiopia on the African continent.
What's stopping us from doing it, Ben? What's stopping us from doing it?
The will, and let me also tell you what's stopping us. The lack of leaders who are forward thinking. You're not going to do that when you elect leaders who are stuck in the past. You're not going to do that when you elect leaders. Look, you have to be deliberate as a country. You have to be deliberate as a country. You have people running for president using acronyms as their platforms. And people were passing around, shaking hands and jumping all over the place and acting like they didn't know what it is. Look, you want to talk about Ghana, you want to talk about Rwanda, you want to talk about these countries. These countries have intentional leaders who decide that, listen, this is what I am going to do, and I am going to invest in this. We are not ready as a society. As a country, we are not ready. The things we are focused on, and that's why I say I'm not going to hang my head anymore, because it's just a waste of time. It's a waste of time. The country, what does it say? What did they say? They said that leaders are a reflection of the people. Leaders are a reflection of the people. The leaders you get are the leaders you deserve. Because you're not getting leaders from Mars, from space.
Well, if you allow me to, Larry, let me. I want us to highlight something here. You mentioned something that is very important, right? Telehealth. I feel like I have a 2-minute video, right? I serve as a consultant for one of the telehealth services in North Carolina here. I just want just over 2 minutes video. Let's share with our people, because I know we have government officials back home who are listening. Let them see reason to reach back out to you and say, let us invest in this. It is very important. I took my son to the hospital just yesterday. Not too many questions I had to answer. Give his insurance, and they had all this information in there, and few questions he had to answer. How would it help save lives in Liberia is what people should be focused on. That suggestion you made, I don't care whether it were to make you the richest Liberian ever in the world. I think that idea should have been bought and actually ran with.
It was free. It was free.
Anyway, somebody from the government just said I'm asked for the number, so we have.
That's the vice president. The vice president asked
the government got to proceed.
My man, it was succeed. But I'm just acting a fly. The people are not ready to do that. The people are not ready for it.
No, they're not.
All the things go by you, you're wasting our time to do it.
Here are some tips to successfully use telehealth. You can use a computer appointments. If you don't have access to one of these devices or high-speed internet, just use a telephone. Audio-only visits may limit the kind of medical services you can receive, but you can still have a discussion with your healthcare provider. After you schedule your appointment, check your emails or texts for instructions from your healthcare provider's office. They'll send you details about your upcoming appointment and how to use their technology.
Anyway, let me not waste Ben time. It's painful. It get right. Don't make me cry on here tonight. Guys, don't make me cry on here tonight. It's painful. What? In these morning days, we're still talking about going to Mount Mary. Anyway, guys, go ahead, man. It's painful. The thing
guys, we just got roughly 10 more minutes, so let we just open our mind. We can.
Let me say something quickly. Let me say something.
One of my mind is that tomorrow's my birthday, so I'll be.
Well, oh yeah.
Tomorrow's my birthday, man.
Happy birthday, Tony.
Happy birthday, Tony.
Yeah.
Tell where we celebrating the birthday at?
Yeah, I mean, you tell us so we can.
Yeah.
One of the president.
Anyway, we're playing something.
President Envoy just coming to America, so we'll be together tomorrow. The President Envoy.
Very good.
You said you and the president?
Yeah, the president.
President Envoy.
Okay.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Well, happy birthday.
But let me say this. What's on my mind? I mean, let me go first. There's a tendency for people to, and sometimes when we do this talking, when I say, I'm tired and I'm frustrated, and people, You know, I just reading a comment journal from Ernest Bryan, and I'm going to call him out. He said, "Oh, Ben, you've been close to all the presidents and the VP, and you've been looking out for yourself." Yeah, Ernest Bryan, I the one voted for all your president, and I'm a one vote make everybody president. And I mean, I don't want you blame your country problem on me. The fact that you take yourself and you elect people, look at your national legislature. Look at your national legislature. Ernest, I'm calling you out. Then you say, I was just looking up for myself. So I'm calling you out now. Look at your national legislature. Look at the people you replace the other people who were in your national legislature. And then you blame me for your country problem. You say, oh, this is the problem with Liberia. We don't own up to our screw-ups as a nation. We don't do that. We find, just how we are always looking for heroes, we are always looking for scapegoats. We're always looking for scapegoats in Liberia. All right, I remember in 2017, but after the election, when they got very president, Ben Nayar, the one brought it on the country. Right. Ben Nayar, the one did this. Oh, Ben Nayar did that. When y'all take hundreds of thousands of y'all go sit down in the line and vote for these leaders, y'all turn and y'all point to one person, oh, that person did this, oh, that person did that. Shame on y'all. This country we live in, look at even the Liberian associations in this country.
Thank you.
Look at the way they think in this country. Yep. This very America we live in. See some of the Liberian associations in this country. See how they operate. See how they're fighting among themselves every single day. We have a problem as a people. Mm-hmm. As a people, we have a problem. And until we accept that we have a problem as a people, we will continue to be blaming people. Oh, Ben, now you're the one brought them on us. 2 months from now, they will be blaming the people who supported Joe Boyka. Oh, now you're the one. Guess what? Guess what? You elected a man who is at the end of his life. The end of his life.
And you pointed it out.
You elected a man who, so this is not, why are we stuck where we are? Maybe we need to have a national conversation about this.
Ernest Ben got a message for you.
We need to stop all day. Oh, one person, and like I said, we're always looking for a hero. At one point in time, Henry Costa was our hero. Then we lost Henry Costa. The second time, Darrell Dillon was our hero. Then we lost Darrell Dillon. Then it did person. Then it was that person. Then it was this other person. Then Martin Colley was hero. Benson, it's just pathetic. We must own up to our screw-ups as a nation and be deliberate in the things that we want to see happen in Liberia, or else we'll be wasting our time. So I call you, I give you free publicity today, Ernest, because you said, I don't want cause Liberia to be backwards today. When I was here born 1981. 1981. That's what on my mind.
So let me jump in here real quick. And I just want to just add to what Ben just said. We are often found to be people who want to shift the blames on everybody, even though we are the very same people who are often out there seeking heroes and heroines. We don't see reason as to why we should be a part of the change process. We are always here defending our own devils. We would defend anything once it is within our domain and protect it because it serves right. But we want to shift the blames and hold other people accountable, but forget about ourselves. The responsibility is not on any one of these individuals on this platform. All right, it's on all of us. We all should play our parts. It may be okay for them to come out here and publicly speak to these things, but hold yourselves accountable. The fact that you will sit and say the reason why you selected to support an individual who has shown you no success history, you chose to support him as the presidential candidate and as your president because you claim that's how the people show you they wanted to vote, instead of you, the intelligent ones, to say, we don't see any vision from this. We don't see any future. So let us not support this. You instead supported that idea. Now you have us to where we are. And that's the reason why I don't listen to people like John Molu, the one who's supposed to be educated. They supported this Honorable Boyka. when they knew definitely he had nothing to offer. But then they want to come back and play victims. You can't play victim in my domain. The minute you start, then I will inflict more pain on you because that's what you deserve. At this point, we should not be looking for scapegoats. We should not be looking for people to blame. We should be looking for solutions, and we cannot provide you the solution. We can direct you as to how we can obtain it. You contribute to the process, and let us all unite and make sure we get it. You blaming Ben for no reason. You blaming Kev Hassan for no reason. Again, Professor Larry or Tamerlane and Dr. Peabody, they are all citizens. And of course, they will make their decision as to who they want to support. But you do your part and build up the process of change. In the 21st century, we don't even understand what it means to have telehealth. Electricity, literally almost out. Okay? Communication system down. You have no redundancy, no backup plan, nothing. And you're just about to start something. Shamefully, we are 100 and some more years old, but we claim to be overly educated. We have some of the most announced doctors and PhD holders in our country. We have young people who take their time to write nonsense on Facebook utilizing AI to prove their academics or achievement when they have no idea of the subject matter. Thank you, guys. That's what on my mind.
Finally, we got our candidate for 2029. I just got a text. Guys, we're all set for 2029. Let's go. Let's hear from Kev and Larry, man. Let's make progress.
I know today I'm going to tell you something just now.
Right, my man. Yeah. For me, I ain't get nothing to say. I just passed my time to Robert. I give Robert my time.
Well, can I hear about Kanye now? You happy now? You hear about Kanye for 2029? Yes, I did now.
Who?
Go ahead.
Man, look, I've been enjoying the show, man. I just had to come on the show first. I saw Ben firing up. Why you can leave Ben? Whole day you're behind Ben. Whole day. Whole day. When you're gonna bring a $40,000 loan? Go ask the loan. People you borrowed the loan from. Like you borrowed the loan from. Yeah, you can leave. Ben, like, why you became youth chairman? You been in the thing since you was a baby. That's why the people keep hearing. Why you became that? You know, trouble you take. Whole day, Ben. Y'all leave Ben. I will fight for Ben. Y'all leave Ben. Y'all leave the man, man.
Thank you.
Y'all leave the man. But listen, what's on my mind? Look, I was losing my freaking mind yesterday. That's what's on my mind, man. I couldn't get in touch with the madame. You know, I woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I always get my normal text. And I'm like, 6 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. I'm like, what's going on? You know?
Yeah, that's exactly what's going on. Get up to warm my hotspot.
It wasn't until later on that I found out that the entire country and the region was out of internet. But I was losing my mind yesterday. But I'm glad that I was able to talk to her. And the funny thing about it, I was in America worrying about the madam. The madam was in Liberia enjoying herself. You know, so that was a good thing. But look, it was unfortunate that this old lady passed. And you know, there's been a lot of different things going on in the background, Ben. I would just brief.
The old lady they were beating the woman. They said
the old lady who was alleged to be witch. Yes, it's confirmed. She's dead. And so I just got off the phone with another gentleman who was a part of the process. And then I think Ben mentioned a guy called Mark.
Bleedy, right? Yes.
Bleedy. And there's this conflict in the back. I'm not going to mention all. I will call you guys and we'll talk. But there's a lot of conflict. I think they said Marco Bleedy was trying to implicate the kid Dukley, and Matt Dukley. So there's been a lot of different things going on about funds being raised. And so there's a gentleman who wants to come on the show. You know, I think Ben, you know him as well. And so I will put you guys on the phone behind the scene. We can talk just for some clarity to be done with regards to that. But may her soul rest in peace. It's been almost 78 hours or 72 hours, and there has been no arrest made. with regards to this matter. We have a dead body, no arrest made. We got people who are in the Senate and in the House. They're on social media making comments about this matter. There've been no arrest, and it's unfortunate. I don't think no one deserves what that woman was given. She died before her time, and she died at the hands of just gangsters, pretty much, And so may her soul rest in peace. And that's pretty much what's in my mind. It's good to see the professor, man. It's good to see the professor. This year is a great year, man. It's a great year. All kinds of great things coming up. So I'm excited for this year. But it's good to see you, Professor.
Nice.
How many more minutes I got? I got 2 more minutes. Because Kev, give me a time. That's it.
Let me say something in 1 minute, then you can have the rest of the time. Look, just the one thing that concerns me about Liberia. The population is growing at a very high rate, right? Almost like around 2% or so. The population is growing. At the same time, you have a very high unemployment rate. I can remember almost maybe the 2013 or so, or 2012, Madam Sirleaf, when she made a speech overseas, she said the number of young people in Liberia that are unemployed creates a threat to the stability in that country. Mm-hmm. In any country where you have a lot of young people with no jobs, you should be concerned. Because when you do this, you can see how a lot of young people can take to the streets so easily. They start following anybody that get a little bit of money to go protest. Look, if this government does not address the unemployment rate as quickly as possible, they're going to run into a lot of issues down the line. They're going to run into a lot of problems down the line. Because somebody who doesn't have a job, look, they need something to do. Somebody gave them $5, $10 or so, they can run outside and go protest for that person. So that is an immediate threat to Liberia right now, the number of young people that are unemployed. So that's the one thing that concerns me. What is the government doing in terms of addressing the unemployment rate in that country, especially for young people? So that's what I wanted to say. Back to you, Robert.
Yeah, but quickly though, to your point, I mean, look at what's happening in Liberia right now. For me, I think it's a safety hazard, even though we laugh about it. But we've been blessed, and we don't take that lightly. All of us on this platform. I don't think we'll ever go to Liberia where we have to worry about the things that the regular folks worry about, right? But can you imagine? Not a single time you go out, you even if you drove to a place to have a quality dinner with your family or your friends, you can barely get out the car, right? Because people are surrounded you, right? Everyone is, and I don't blame those folks. And when you look in the mix, these are all young people. I mean, these young people should be empowered, be given an opportunity. My fiance went to the Joseph Jenkins Roberts statue. And she just drove over there. The driver told her to go there, and she got there. And there was a young man. I think I shared that video online. There was a young man sitting there who knew the history about the statue and the other folks below the statue. And he took 15 minutes of his time basically going through each of those images on the statue and what it meant for Liberia, even the kid with the flag and everything. And I was amazed, right? And he took his time. He seemed like he knew exactly what he was doing. A young man, he seemed to be in his 20th, right? She didn't pay anything. She was there for about 20, 25 minutes just listening to his explanation. She didn't pay anything. She was not required to pay anything. There was no entry fee whatsoever, even though she tipped him. But it shouldn't be like that. Why is it that we're not utilizing these? These are all opportunities. Look at the PHP part. These are all opportunities. The government have got to be smart, right, in about creating jobs and strengthening the tourism sector. I'm sorry, but when you look at some of the folks that they have at the Ministry of Information, Culture, and Tourism, it really breaks my heart. And with all due respect, but we have to be smart, and we have to create jobs for these young people, because the more we have the kind of jobless rate in our country, it will affect us. You can't drive to a concert, you can't drive to an event without worrying about safety, and you can't even get into your own car because people out there trying to get that $5, that $10, whatever they can get. We've got to do better.
And that was
Let me
what
get-
happened in Haiti. That's why today Haiti is where it is today, because they didn't address the unemployment level. And that's why
What?
Haiti, the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere.
The 49 is all right.
Of course,
Yeah.
it's a serious, and this is exactly what we're talking about here. It's
Yeah.
continuing. It was something that they were overlooking, ignoring,
Right.
Yeah.
ignoring until.
But that one, I would blame America for that. America.
Let me get.
They created
Guys,
that
let me
problem.
just say this real quick. A quick public service announcement. Andrews, or anyone from your family, please call me tonight or tomorrow, all day. My phone will be open. I want to hear from you or your family member. Andrew, I will stop at that for now. Andrews, or your family member, please. You have my contact. I want to hear from you tonight or tomorrow. I know wherever you are in the world, you can follow the closing argument. Please call me tonight or call Dr. Peabody, any one of us on here, but I expect to hear from you tonight or tomorrow. Thank you.
Shout out to my girl, attorney Mariah Yakula, man. Man, good to know people in that country. I don't care what nobody say. You got to know people in that country, man. Shout out to Mariah Yakula. She made things work for me yesterday.
Well,
Man, they said the B boys and B girls separated themselves yesterday, my man. The people who were the B boys and B girls, they were online, well, everybody else was somewhere hiding at home. They couldn't even. I mean, look, you gotta respect some of these folks, man. I'm telling you.
Oh, you in Liberia?
No, I'm not in Liberia, but my second person in Liberia.
So somebody was telling me that.
So when you say it didn't work for you, like a second person.
Hey,
Can't be the man.
Guys, are we done?
Somebody-
I gotta run off though.
Yeah. We're done with that. But look, but guys, let me just say,
closing?
man. Happy birthday to my sister today. Her birthday. In our family, my brother died in the war. He was March 14. My sister the 15. I was the 16. We so happy just like that in the row. But just imagine though, Larry, my brother though, since July 2nd. He was at TB Annex. We have not seen him since then, and we don't know. They just ransacked that place. That's why it's important that on top of the war, economic crime score is important. And PYJ say he spent the original day at Duboro. I said, so what is it? What were the important significance?
What is significant?
He said.
Well, you saw my comment. You saw my comment, Tony?
He said, Babe said you gotta explain that comment better.
What?
Because he said you were cleaning the graves of people that were massacred in the Lutheran church. But my point is, God, I know we're ending, right? My point about the war crime code. We're not starting from nowhere. We're starting from the day the war. We talk about war. We're not for war 79 or 1980. We're for war 1989. War started. We'll start from there. We're not going to talk about what happened. They had what demonstration. They had coup. And trust me, man, we're not going to waste our time. We'll go strictly from that time. And those who bear the greater responsibility will be held accountable. But we just can't let impunity upsetting. No. Because people, until we can find a closure, guys, Liberia will always have the problem. We'll be a divided country, and people will think are going tomorrow and get shoot away the power. So we need to really think about that, Yeah.
All right. Thanks, guys. It was good
Thanks,
show,
guys.
guys.
Great
It was
show.
a pleasure, man.
Happy birthday, Dominic George.
Again, happy birthday.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you, buddy.
But what you doing
Thank
for
you,
the birthday, my man? You're not no spot,
right.
nothing.
The president's special envoy in the States. We're having dinner tomorrow.
Nice.
All right.
Nobody doing it.